I just got a feeling the Lakers are going on vacation today.
Well,
it's not starting out too hot.
Wait, they're just started, so you're going to watch a whole game?
No, I'm going to do this show. Priority. I
Sweet
can
of
do
you.
2 things at once.
no, you can't. You're not a woman.
You don't know.
Ding dong, Jax is gone. Well, for now at least.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll take it.
Jesse has money problems, possibly. And Danny calls himself daddy, which I'm not really comfortable with that, Danny.
Who doesn't?
God, make it
Anyway,
stop.
welcome to Showmance, guys, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Shows as shallow as Michelle's prep work before her failed Dave and Buster's coup.
Ooh.
Okay.
What?
I think that was an on-the-spot decision. I don't think she saw that coming.
Yeah, that's the point. Coups take a little pre-pro, as we call it in the biz. I love this show.
I know, me too.
It's so trashy. I love that everybody talks about how, that this show is supposed to be like the continuation of like the adulthood from Vanderpump. This is supposed to be the adult lives of Vanderpump, which doesn't have but just a couple of people from Vanderpump on it. And all of these lives are just like falling apart.
That's why you love it.
No, I don't know what kind of show it would be without it, truthfully. It's why New York Housewives is like such a thing for so many people, that they're just like, these ladies all seem to get along pretty good, and lives seem to be on the up and up.
Well,
and
I have a feeling that, when you're raised with and by reality TV,
yeah,
I would imagine you would go in, especially if you're like a savvy New Yorker, you would go into a situation like this thinking, oh, I can self-produce. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm super smart. I know what I'm going to say, what I'm not going to say, what's off limits.
yeah.
And I think that we don't need any of that. If you're listening, Roni, ladies, we don't need you to do that. We need you to be loud and proud and live your lives uncensored.
Yeah.
That's what makes a great show.
Agree with you. Let me throw us into the simulation and let me reprogram a simulation for us real quick. Let's say, just at the sake of like, based off what you said, is like, oh, this show's horrible and these people are trashy and whatever, and we're here for it. Not saying I'm not. Beep, boop, beep, into the simulation. Jax and Brittany are happy. They're having a second kid. The bar's thriving. We get to see them working there. Jesse and Michelle also thriving, popping off real estate deals left and right? Get a little $1 million listing, a little bit of VPR with Jackson.
No way. I'd be here
Really?
for it. I totally would be here for it. I love a win.
I'm just saying.
I would be so happy. Jax, you got your stuff
Listen,
together.
I like New York Housewives. I don't have any issue with it. I like seeing
the reboot. You like the reboot.
I do, and
Okay.
nobody does. So I get it. So I might be here for that, but I don't. A good show it does not make. I don't think like what the thing that you're saying. Yes, we would watch it. We watch everything. Like you got to do a real. You'd have to really offend me. You'd have to literally call my name and be like, "You, Natalie, we do not want you here." And then I'd be like, "Fine, I'll go and just watch from my phone under the bed." I'd
with
probably still watch it.
headphones in.
Yeah, and then lie about it. But I don't think that the masses enjoy that show, and so again for me. But I never like what normal people
See,
like.
but here's the thing: if we are talking about the reboot of New York,
Yeah,
we had 2 full episodes based off of a BS story that
Yeah.
we knew was a BS story.
Yeah.
I'm not here for that. I need you to give me your actual life, what's really happening, good, bad, or anywhere in between. It's why I think the viewers used to get annoyed with Doute when she wouldn't, when she wouldn't just like put herself on camera smoking, because she's a smoker.
yeah,
And she would just kind of bob and weave around it. And then this season, when she was in her car and she just whips out a ciggy and starts ripping it, she even said, I can't believe the love I got for
Yeah.
that. Because listen, nobody should be smoking. We know it's bad for you. We want everyone to be healthy, but it's authentic. It was authentic.
yeah.
So to see her just do that and have this stressful moment, I don't want Dorit to be stressed. I want her to be happy. I want her to be living happily ever after. But that isn't the reality of her life right now. And
Yeah.
the cigarette and the stress and all of it was. So give it to me.
Yeah.
Because that's I'm not a smoker, but I have stressful moments in my life. And if I'm showing up just saying, everything's bows and bunnies and it's all good all the time, no one can really be friends with me because I'm the equivalent of Teflon.
Yeah.
Like there's no there. So I would be here for the redemption story because clearly they've been through it.
Yeah.
Jax and Brittany, if we're just talking about them individually. So
But
I'd
you
be here
don't-
for the redemption story. I just need it to be authentic. is
Yeah,
all
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying.
But do you think? I mean, I think you said yes, but like, no redemption. Like nothing ever went to shit. We meet them last season
For the first time
for
ever.
the first time. Jesse and Michelle are like, "Oh, we have a real estate business, and we sell, and we have this deal and that deal, and woo hoo hoo." And Jax and Brittany are like, "We're trying to have a second baby," and Jax is like, "The bar's really coming together. I'm really happy now." Like. If
Yeah,
that's how we met, and like say, no, that's a stretch for Jackson and Brittany to show up like that. I get it. I'm just, again, in the simulation, reprogramming a couple of things. Would that show still be fun to watch if everyone's like successful and thriving and having just their normal family life dramas?
Because drama's going to pop up in life. Like if you look at Kyle and Mauricio on Beverly Hills, they were married for 27 years. We really got to go on such a good ride with them as a couple.
He's on episode 7 or 8 of season 1.
Okay. We were not going to let that out for
Well,
a little bit longer because
We're
No,
best
I think it'll be
friends.
funny. I
Up
think
to
it'll
the
be funny
people.
to like
They're our best friends.
just to check
This is
in with
true.
Mike throughout the next year and be like, because he's just going to be making there's 14, 15 seasons of this show. Like he's going to
Wait,
be
you started S1E.
Yes.
Mark, if I wasn't sitting, I'd get up and hug you. I'm
It's for
proud,
them.
man.
It was for them.
Thanks, guys. Peer pressure works.
Listen, a lot more laughs than I expected, so maybe I'll stick around.
Vanderpump and her hubby.
She's the best.
She's the best.
Yeah.
When her husband has a moment when this is many years later, Kyle and Lisa get in a fight, and what's the husband's name? Oh, he's been gone for so long. I forget the
Of
name off
who?
the show. Not Kevin. Ken. Lisa's husband,
Oh.
Ken. He
gone
walks.
for so long. What do you mean?
No, like off the show.
Oh, I'm like, oh my God, did I miss an RIP? No, Ken. I
No.
used to see Ken every day at the gym, and he would just be in the same black shirt and black shorts, and he would just be on any bar type thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it, and that's all. And I was
But he did. He went to the gym.
happy with it. Yeah.
He went there.
That's all you gotta
Ken
do.
walks in the kitchen, and my sister and I still say this line to this day. He's like, "She's not the full ticket, babe." About Kyle because they got in a fight. How great is it to describe someone as she's not the full ticket?
That's like the cheese slid off her cracker. I heard that one time. I've never forgotten it. We don't use it enough.
No, I've never used it once, and if
You've
I
never
used
heard
it
it
a
before?
million times, it's still not enough.
Yeah, I had only heard it that one time ever.
I'm using it.
and,
I'm
yeah.
sliding that into.
Yeah.
She's not the full ticket, babe.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, you're in for some real treats. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyway, all right, top of the pops.
Yeah.
Okay. I think because we all really do love Tiger, aka Jason.
Yes.
It was so nice of him and very on brand for him to be the one to take Jax to
Yes.
rehab. I thought that was very sweet.
Yes.
And he mailed the mascara and didn't send him a Venmo request. If he has a real fall from grace, I'm going to be disappointed. Because I'm really liking him.
I don't think the ring thing's gonna be anything. I'm
Yeah,
just
okay.
hoping. I think it's just some like shady editing. Or
Who do you think is getting back at him? Like it seems like it's a plant from someone. I wonder who.
I don't know.
I don't
Or
know,
who
but
is the one? Like, how do we even find out about? Like when we see it in the super teas or the trailers or whatever it is. Like, what's the sound bite? Who says the sound bite about how he
remember.
does it? Is it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I
who
can't even remember
says
that
it.
either.
I was thinking this episode, because he really was going in not hard, like he's a lawyer, right? So he can paint a picture, but still also be very balanced in the sense where it's like,
Yeah.
you just tore that guy a new one, but I still like you.
Yeah.
And he was going in on Danny saying, and we'll get into what he says about him,
Yeah.
but like that whole storyline, but just saying, listen, I can't remember the last time I was out with Danny that he wasn't blotto drunk and like basically being kicked out of the bar.
Yeah.
He's like, but when he's not sober, he's the best guy. And
when
so,
he is sober, he's the
or
best.
sorry,
guy.
thank you. When he is sober, he's the best guy. When he's not drunk, he's the best guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking to myself, and he said it, he did that a few different times with different castmates this episode. And I was like, you better hope that ring thing is not true, because you are really highlighting everyone else's weak spots.
Yeah. But the sad part is, I wouldn't blame him.
Well, yeah. By the way, everyone thinks I look like Janet.
I know. And I want to just say that I hate Janet so much. She has such a punchable face. And I just think I have always I've met Courtney day one. I thought she's the most beautiful woman I ever met. I still to this day is like, you've got your funny friend, your asshole friend, your this friend, that friend, and then you got your beautiful friend. That's Courtney. So when anybody talks about her as looking like a person that I just am like, I would love to. Well, I would never punch anyone. I would love to punch someone. And if I did, it would be Janet. So I didn't like it, Christy, and I love you. I didn't like the comparison. But
Christy was so funny. She goes, "Don't hate me, Courtney."
I
could
she
never,
with,
Christy.
Don't hate me. Yeah,
I could never.
Totally. But I was like, what do they have? They both have healthy, shiny, long hair. That's it.
You think my hair is long?
Yes.
Thank you. I've only ever wanted it to be long.
But like I said, maybe it's just because I am very biased anti-Janet. But I have seen her in the after show, and she does look put together.
She does look beautiful in the after show. And I like what she's wearing.
She nailed her outfit.
She did. Her earrings.
She nailed the look. Yeah.
Totally.
Even a broken clock. What's your thing?
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's the one.
By the way, this is a sidebar.
Even a broke ass bitch. Just kidding. I won't use that.
I'm pretty sure either these broads have the best weaves this side of the Mississippi, or I think the majority of these women, this is all their hair. That's Michelle's hair. I think that's what's her name that I look like? Karen, not Karen.
Janet.
She may as well be named Karen. Yeah.
Janet.
I think that's Janet's hair. I think that's Brittany's hair. I didn't think that was Kristen's hair, but now I can't see that it's not her hair. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like that's Kristen's hair. She's just so friggin' bohemian,
Totally.
And bohemian women, the best ones, always have the most luxurious, long, sultry,
that's
shiny, thick,
It's Nia's hair. That these broads, this is all their real hair. That is impressive.
Yeah. When you go from watching Secret Lives of the Mormon Wives, who literally none of them would have it. No, the main girl has it.
Taylor or whatever.
She's the only one though.
Yes.
The rest of them, it's bad news, baby. Bad news bears. If you get the wrong camera shot in the back of them when they're answering the door, and not the good.
Right. And either we haven't gotten one bad camera shot with these broads, or that is all their hair.
Yeah, I think
brava. I applaud that.
No, that's not that's not a thing.
Especially if you're on TV.
Yes.
All that heat on it all the time.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, we'll get back into the show.
Mike's acting bored just so we can look down and watch the Laker game. Just so everyone knows
listen,
when you see
two
Mike
things
looking
can be
down,
true.
You can be bored and watching the Laker game.
Yes, I can. Not like what hair.
Okay,
listen, I know we hate Janet, but I gotta say, when she said that thing to Jason about "I'm proud to be your wife," blah blah blah,
as she should
be proud. She definitely should. Yeah. That got me. I was like, that was super sweet. I really liked that.
That was a very sweet moment.
Yeah.
The top of the episode was a little sleepy for me. So after that really sweet moment, do we just go into the girls? Is it like ping-ponging back and forth between Tiger and Jesse having their coffee, and then the girls talking with Michelle?
Tiger and Jesse having coffee is way down the road.
What's the next
The girls
scene?
are at Brittany's having a little kibitz, talking about Jax and whatever and what happened because Jason just came back. Jason leaves. They have their conversation about just him, like if he's going to stay and whether she's going to, if he doesn't stay, she's going to file. And
that's, yes, because in that scene, Michelle, I thought gave her great advice. She was like, you need to file now.
Yeah, file and run. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely.
Cut bait and run.
Also, I think people need to stop telling Jax to do this for his son. And they need to start telling him to do it for the show and his fame.
Oh, he already knows that. Have you not listened to Jack's podcast?
So listen,
In the Mind of a Man?
No,
which
in
now
the
it's
mind
changed.
of Jax Taylor.
Well, he's changed it.
Oh, wait, not Jax Taylor. What's his dumb name?
Jason Kachi.
I don't really do social media, right? I didn't even have any social media. I swear to God, I didn't even have Instagram until we started doing this. and I still wasn't going to get it. And Natalie was like, I don't think we can do this without you having an
Yeah,
Instagram.
not really a choice thing. It's
Yeah.
like, it's like Mike being like, I don't watch TV.
So I had to get an Instagram. But like, I don't really follow anybody. I follow people that aren't Jax Taylor. Or why do I keep saying Jax Taylor? Who the fuck
That's
is
his
Jax
name.
Taylor?
That's his stage name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his fake name. Got it.
Who's Jax Taylor? What are we doing on this show?
Yeah, it'd be
No,
one thing if
because
you
I
said,
just
"Who's
keep
Jason
hearing
Caccio?"
Caccio so much on the Valley. Like, I feel like he's not Jax Taylor on the Valley. He's
the artist formerly known as Jax
so
Taylor.
like, it's like it's tweaking me out. But wait, what were you saying?
See, you can't watch the Laker game and do the
No,
show.
no,
Mike.
okay.
La-ti-da.
Please, this happens on every show day.
What was he saying?
We're talking about
dude.
Janet and
You were saying they need to tell Jax to get sober so he can stay on the show.
Oh,
and be
yeah,
famous.
yeah.
So I don't have so I just had to get Instagram for this. Like, so what's fun? I don't follow these people. Like, I don't follow any of their social media, so I don't really pay attention. So for me, watching these shows is still fun. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if Jax made it his 30 days, 7 days. I don't know if he killed her yet. Like, I have no idea.
By the way, me either, because I don't follow them either.
Yeah, it's really much more fun.
I'm a purist.
Yeah.
Wait, what is Jax's rebranded podcast?
it wasn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's not, you can go ahead. You listen to it. You love it.
I don't
It's your
listen to it.
favorite podcast.
I'm on the talk.
It's your favorite podcast because you hate women. Two can play at this game.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
It was called In the Mind of a Man, and now, which is like, I know.
Wait,
The
in
great
or
thing-
from? From the mind.
Or maybe From the
I
Mind
think
of a
it's
Man.
from the mind.
Either way. it
Yeah,
just-
either way.
So then is he just interviewing actual men to see how they've become grown-up
No,
adult
no.
men? Because
Here's
he's not one.
How you know you're lying? I don't know because I've never listened to it. I've only heard clips. He had Dr. Drew on the other day, basically telling him what his diagnosis was and almost just like cutting off Dr. Drew at every turn to be like, yeah, and I do this. Like, Jax is, I've never seen something like him. He is so willing to show you and tell you all the most horrible things about himself, but I don't think he realizes when he's saying it that they are so horrible. I think he thinks he's being very I don't even know what he thinks he's being. Not self-aware, because anything self-aware would be
No, we talked about
self-aware.
this. We talked about Dax Shepard when he was on that show that I used to watch all the time. We used to watch together.
Yeah.
And we were talking about somebody else being Jesse. We were talking about Jesse being honest about when they had Isabella, that she became a mom, but he didn't become a dad. And I was like, oh, there's a episode of that show with Dax Shepard where he talks about like some shit that I was like,
Yeah.
you should not say that out loud. But at the same time, you're saying it out, like you're saying it because people have these feelings. Nobody says it. You're going to be the man, dude, whatever, dad. That's like, nope, these are real things. I felt this. Other people feel this. Let's talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think whether he's literally leaning into those two things or those two people, but I think he's trying to lean into that, but Jax is just such a piece of shit. That's
Yes.
like,
See,
dude,
I have a different take
no.
on it because I can't give Dax Shepard and Jax, whatever his name is, the
Dax
same
and Jax. That's interesting.
Yeah, I can't put them on the same level. So I
No,
think like
as
Dax,
Wait,
and
why?
you shouldn't.
Well,
because
why?
absolutely
Hold on. Why?
because I
Because
think
Dax Shepard used to be a fucking piece of shit. He
Yes.
used to be a Jax Taylor.
no, he's talked about like his sobriety journey and like who he was when he was not sober and all of that. I think he now has years of living proof that he is a different person, and we don't have that from Jax yet. So to me, until Jax has shown me something different, I'm still judging him on, like, you know, Shane says it all the time, I'm judging you on your actions, not your intentions.
Yeah.
And so I only have Jax's actions right now.
Yeah.
And Jax is like this dumb kid who's like, I I have missed the most days of school of anyone at John Wayne Middle School. And the person about to suspend him is like, right, that's not a good thing, Jax.
Yeah.
And I think when he's talking to Dr. Drew, I haven't heard it, but I think he's saying these things that like, I'm the most bipolar person he's ever met. Like, right, that's a very like hard thing. That's a big thing to deal with. Like,
that is not the
you're
good.
saying this like that should get me another episode, season on the show, as opposed to saying like, wow, that is a very heavy diagnosis. What does that mean for my life, for my child? How can I, heal this? What medication could be helpful? Like, he's just not saying things from a place of of maturity ever to me.
And he's saying what you're telling him to say. Instead of saying, I'm going for my son, you want him to say, I'm going for the show and to keep my job and for, fame and this and that. He actually...
I don't want him to say that.
Well,
I think he's already like, listen,
he is saying
I don't think, no.
He's not saying his kid.
I don't think Jax went for his son. I think he went for the show and the fame. And I'm not surprised that he's now saying that. I'm saying back then, like he should have stopped saying, I'm doing it for my kid. And everyone else should have stopped saying, you need to do this for your kid. Because like that's not why he did it. It's never why he was going to do it. I won't say that, but like Jax only cares about one thing. And everyone should have been like, bro, do it for the show. You know how the ratings, you'll be the number one guy again.
Oh, yeah.
And he would have been like, and then he would have actually probably gotten better. I don't know if he has, but he would have. If
Has he said that he's still like sober? And what is his definition?
Him and Brittany don't seem to be getting along too well.
But like, and what is his sobriety? Is it like, does he still drink, but he doesn't do coke anymore? Is he totally sober? California sober?
There hasn't been a clip on that on the doc, so I don't know that. Okay. But the thing that I want to say
in the comments
about how he is saying, oh, I'm here because of the show and my job. And he's not saying it from a place of honesty. He's saying it because I think that he still does not want anyone he says a new thing every other day. It's like he comes to a new conclusion like, oh, that's not what I want to say. This is what I want to say. But he doesn't realize that well, he just said something different 3 days ago. And then 3 days before that, he said something different. So your word really means nothing right now. So changing it up is actually only going to do you worse. Your new idea is not going to help anything. He's saying now because of the show, because he doesn't really want, I think he regrets admitting to anyone that he had a problem, an addiction. So he's saying now, I think I'm only going here because of the show, because was there a threat that I might lose my job? There was. Was I worried that I might blah, blah, blah? I was and so he's now, I think, trying to backtrack that he has a cocaine addiction, maybe because he's decided that's not going to fare well in court, or because nobody likes that, or that's
Jax
not cool, or whatever it is.
Said on camera that he has a drug addiction or cocaine addiction.
He has. He went on a podcast called
Hot Mic,
or something.
Not on the show though.
Well, no, it's Bravo's podcast.
And even in that, this is the thing about Jax. Even Jax tells truths, but doesn't even realize that he's telling them when he's telling them. He's never said anything authentically. He has said everything for whatever he thinks it might garner him next. And then he changes his mind about what he's looking to garner. And so then he changes up his answer and intentions to things a mere days later.
He's like a terrible politician.
He really is.
Like he's saying one thing to one person to get their vote, and then the diametrically opposed thing to someone else to get theirs.
With no this is a microphone here. It lives forever, and anyone can just beep boop and go back to the thing you said yesterday. That he doesn't have any either he doesn't grasp that concept, or he just. We've talked about this before about how, he has so little dignity of his word, just doesn't.
I also think that he's been able, because look at, if we're looking at the whole picture, right?
Yeah.
He's been able to buy, and not that this is the high watermark for what we want for our lives, but he has fans.
Yeah.
Okay. For whatever that means. He's been able to buy a multi-million-dollar home in a really lovely area. He married a sweet as pie human being, has a beautiful young child. He has achieved for what he wants for his life. That Jax came out here to be an actor. Those are the things Jax wanted. He wanted lots of fans, social media follows. He wanted to be on a TV show. He wanted to buy a house. He wanted to be at like cool parties and I'm not saying like he's rubbing elbows with Robert De Niro and Harry Styles, but like he is, I'm sure, at something where there's a famous person or whatever. And I think he just has the mindset of, oh, I've been let off the hook so many times. I'll clean up that mess tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let me just get through today in this moment. And
yeah.
That's it. He's never thinking about not even a week or a month down the road. He's not thinking about tomorrow.
I don't think he even can. I don't think his brain works that far in advance. And like I said, I think he changes his mind all the time about like what's going to do best for X, Y, and Z, like whatever's in front of him, whether it's his restaurant or the show getting renewed or not, or like, I think that Jax is willing to bring a bunch of shit that like isn't even really the case if he knows it will guarantee a next season. There's nothing about him that's like, I want to like hold on to this piece of anything value in a person, like character wise.
And I agree with you. And I think my point in saying all of that is it's learned behavior. I think, I don't know, maybe Joanne could tell us because she's our psych department of the show. Because it's worked for him for so long. It's gotten him this far, which for what he wanted out of life is pretty far. So I think because it's worked, it's like the animal that just hits the bell and then the treat is in front of them. They're going to keep hitting that bell.
Yeah, that's true.
So anywho,
it's true.
Can we get into the tea party with the Hermes china at Jesse Lally's house? I guess I'm not shocked because I do think Kristen is definitely one of those people that wants to be told, not like only be around yes people, but I think she's not mad at a yes person.
No.
So the fact that Jesse's sitting here now with the most transparent bid for a friendship so that he can continue to build his case and amass like the Team Jesse support system that he wants. How are you guys just sitting here? You're lapping it up with the fancy china and the croissant. How are you not seeing that he's doing all of this to cement you on his side? That's what I took from that whole, I mean, I took other things about Jesse being all over the map with this cheating stuff, but.
I mean, you kind of ruined it with the Jax thing, not literally, but like it's a TV show. It's on the call sheet. Like that's this episode was, and that scene specifically was so, it's like something, you can get away with a lot on a reality show that'll just go right over all of our heads. And then once in a while, there's a scene where you're like, Jesus Christ, you guys didn't even try with this one. Really? A croissant and a stupid conversation? Oh, Janet just happened to call you while you were here to ask you a thing?
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be the weirdest Kristen has ever been in 10 years of being on camera, which is saying a lot. That scene sucked so bad.
Even though it's a down the middle scene, which we've seen a million of them, I couldn't believe that Kristen's sitting there just lapping it up. Everything he's serving her, she's like, yep, that's exactly right. And that's why I like you better than her.
But what was he serving her? He was serving her all the facts or all the bullet points of the thing that made us all be like, oh shit, honey, and he couldn't, dang, maybe she was banging the honey dude. That's what he was serving up, some juice. So
he's just trying to butter them up to be on Team Jesse is my thought.
I definitely
to 100 zillion. There's no secret. That's like he also had croissants there. Like,
but I would just be like, Jesse, I'm not your friend. We didn't really like each other that much, and now you're really laying it on thick for me to be your friend in these divorce proceedings. Like when I came over and the wine and the this and now the croissants and the.
I think you nailed it when you said that Kristen's just sort of like in a phase of her life that she's not opposed to people just like laying anything on if it's nice and it's non-problematic and non-confrontational and whatever. Like she is eye on the prize on this pregnancy ordeal and trying to keep a show on the network. I think these are her two main things are those two things. So I don't think that I think that since Michelle is basically giving her a no, like no fucks, like Michelle seems to have no interest in entertaining Kristen whatsoever. Like even if it's for her own benefit, she doesn't seem to be able to do it. Jesse sees that. So whatever it is, Michelle or whatever it is, Kristen is going to take what Jesse's giving her. Also, the story that he's telling, with the laying out the timeline of this thing, the honey thing is weird. One thing I want to say about Runyan Canyon, I used to hike Runyan Canyon minimum 3 times a week.
Yeah, same.
Vita was relentless about it.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't me trying to do it, but like, I love Vita. I love hanging out with her. She wanted to go every day, that or spin classes or yoga at Equinox. That's I just pretty much followed her lead on that. But anyhow, I never went to Runyan Canyon barefaced. Many people don't. It's not a hard hike.
No, it's not.
It's also not a hike. It's a social scene. It's a morning bar.
Yeah,
it's not like Barry's boot camp that you are going to be like vomiting in a bucket.
100% glam up and put on your cutest Lululemons and
I wasn't wearing foundation,
dudes, chicks, everybody.
But I was wearing mascara, and I was not, and I was brushing my hair and putting up in a cute bun, not like a bun of like so because Runyan's very sceney. So there's like. You can make it harder, but 99% of the people did not take that harder thing. It was, little, just whatever.
No, you want hard to go to the steps or whatever the steps are. And there's like 130 steps these idiots run up and down.
Yeah.
I've done that.
There's like, and there's one like kind of like where they're like right when you start to go up, it's like hard. Not hard, but just like, for like 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes max. And then after that, it's just whatever. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it is not crazy by any stretch that Michelle would put her face on to go up here. She's also in real estate. You're going to meet maybe clients there. You don't know. So I'm not saying that Michelle's innocent. I'm just saying that like, that's not And
it might not have been a full face of makeup. You know how sometimes dudes are just like, whoa, getting glammed up. And you're like, I'm literally putting like concealer on under my eyes and covering up this giant woogie growing out of my cheek.
We saw what the makeup was. They cut back to the scene when she came back with the drinks and was like, hey, I woke up. And I was like, okay, that's not a full face of makeup.
She looked like she did come back from a hike.
Yeah, she was dressed cute, but so was everyone else there.
Yep.
So
that's keeping up with the Los Angeles.
Yeah. So there's that. The honey thing is weird. But another thing, if you watch this scene, you will just see Jesse's telling this story. I feel like he came onto the honey thing, which is a thing. You find out who this guy is. You're going, you start doing your investigations, and then you click on the thing and you're like, oh my God, this guy owns that company or whatever he does, maybe works. I don't know what he does for it. It seems like he has some ownership of it. I don't know. Anyhow, that would be weird to be like, this honey that has been in my house for however long is this label that's owned by this dude and that I've kind of already had a thing about. And I think he took that and worked backwards from there.
Yes.
And just found like a way to connect all the dots. You could see him, go back and watch it again. He looks like that part about Instagram and seeing the company, totally like so believable. The rest of it, he would like touch his face or like do a turn. Like every kind of like point he would hit was so like, you're working backwards. You're telling a story here.
This is why it's been so hard to patch together what actually happened.
Yeah.
Because
I went on Reddit and asked today, does anyone here know what happened? And the moderator hasn't approved my post yet. So, or otherwise I would let you all know what
actually
the
happened.
Answer was. Yeah.
I'm rewatching like bits and pieces of season 1. I'm going to redo it again, even though I just rewatched it because I need to get down to brass tacks with this. I got to get down to the bottom of it.
I'm not sure if it's actually in there.
I don't think
I think it's intentionally vague.
But from everything that I'm piecing together, first of all roads lead, if it's a rumor, all roads lead back to Jax. And I'm going to show you a screenshot that I took from when I was watching the show. But they said both Jesse and Kristen said something very interesting this episode, okay? Kristen said, I know like for a fact, the dude that I was talking about when I messed up and said she's been having an affair for a year, and what I meant to say is she was having an affair a year ago, that is not Aaron.
Yeah.
And Jessie is saying she's been having an affair for that past year with Aaron. She wasn't seeing two guys. If she was having an affair, it certainly wasn't her seeing two guys at the same time.
I don't know if Jessie said that she's been having an affair with Aaron for the last year.
I think in this past episode, he was like, she's been seeing him this past, like their
But he
affair
also,
was
I mean,
this past
he
year.
did say I'm 99% sure that he also said if it wasn't Aaron, she cheated on me twice.
Right. So then she must have had someone, and as soon as it ended, I guess then she started things with Aaron, according to Jessie. It's just none of it is matching up. And so I just wanted to.
What is matching up? Jessie's stuff?
Jessie's stuff is obviously Michelle has just stuck to her guns where it's like, I didn't cheat on you. And then Jessie throws some random thing in this episode being like, she admitted this summer that she cheated on me, but then she's on the show saying that she didn't cheat on me. It's making me a little spinny to try and figure all of this out. I will say what was really interesting was I had this screenshot that this is from last season. Jack says, this was to Kristen. So remember when they were at that lunch at the steakhouse and Kristen's like, I'm a vegetarian. Why would he take me to a steakhouse? I guess he had said the shit to her about the affair on camera. And then Kristen started talking about it. And so then Jax texted Kristen, and Kristen brings this screenshot up where Jack said, do not repeat anything personal to Michelle. You could destroy a life, and I don't know if it's true. And you told my wife, and now she's pissed at me. Why would you repeat something unless you know the facts? Please don't open your mouth about anything like that. Please, it's not your place. And then Kristen says, what are you talking about? I haven't even talked to Brittany. You're the one who said shit on camera. I'm quoting her. I've never even heard of any of this. Don't call me crazy. I'm filming right now. So Jax was the one who told Kristen about the cheating rumors. Kristen didn't know for a fact that any of this stuff happened, or that's what the texts say. That's why all of this is so convoluted.
I don't know what
not that convoluted.
Well, I don't know what she exactly specifically she's talking about in that text, but I do know that Kristen has said a number of times that Michelle told her everything like as it was happening during that time. Michelle says that they were super tight at the time because Kristen really hated Jessie. Michelle goes on a whole thing about how like Kristen has always thought that Jessie was a deadbeat piece of crap, like from the jump, like was always very supportive of her decision. I guess Michelle had got her apartment a year before the split. She had been paying on that apartment, got the lease a year before, and told Kristen about it. So I think that there is a lot that Michelle told Kristen. I think that she definitely had a side relationship. I think that what you brought up before about how like it seems like Jessie already knew, and it was either like they weren't in an open relationship, but like maybe this thing was acknowledged and accepted by him in some fashion. There was
We're not going to talk about, I'm sure Quentin Tarantino's a real nice fella. Do you think Quentin Tarantino's hanging out for multiple nights having dinner at the chateau with Michelle and not banging her? Or not? Like, what are we doing here?
I'm not shocked by that. Like, just if you're hanging out at the
that's
chateau, I live down the
not
street.
necessarily
Like,
shocked.
Right, but the timeline adds up. The
Listen.
person that Jessie would be okay with her fooling around with, making out with, having a little boy, probably Quentin Tarantino, who maybe is going to buy a $15 or $20 or $30 million house from them one day. You know what I mean? Like,
But there's
that
this
all
vague
tracks.
period of time.
I didn't know she had an apartment where she could go get her side piece on. Like,
No, because she said it this episode. She basically said like we were separated, but we weren't like, we didn't have a legal separation. But when she had the apartment, they were gonna get divorced. And I guess Jessie convinced her to come back. I'm assuming that's when
she said it on this episode?
she said something like that this episode.
maybe in the after show.
Or
maybe it was the after show. Maybe it was the
after show. I think it was in-
not a thing that happened.
Which part about
No,
her?
it just didn't happen. That didn't happen in the episode.
It totally could have been the after show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the after show. Did you watch the after show?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
It was a good one.
Yeah, I found out lots of things in there. This is going to be a bummer because I have things to say about it.
It's okay. I
Say
watch
I
it.
don't give a shit.
We're cutting.
I think that there is something as you were talking about it being so vague and so hard to piece together this timeline, I have a feeling that the timeline is vague intentionally. And I think that these two were about to basically already were or on the road that up to the nth hour, the
11th hour.
The 11th hour with Brian Williams. Miss that guy.
Now with what's her face?
Oh, yeah.
My parents' neighbor, whose name I can't remember.
Jersey Girl.
Yeah.
So I think that they got very close to ending it. I think the show presented itself as something I would not be shocked at all if they decided to stick around for another year, to seize this opportunity. Like they're just like, they're the kind of people that I could see acknowledging that this is a great platform for their business.
Totally.
And I do think that Jesse, just because I think Jesse wants to win, he doesn't want to lose. So I do think Jesse could have made a serious attempt to try to save his marriage in the end. Not because Jesse's a good guy and loves his wife so much, but because Jesse doesn't want to be left and be divorced and be, all the things he wants. It's his way or the no way. So I feel like it's left intentionally vague because there's just so many holes in it and no one's asking questions, and they're not asking when they're on Watch What Happens Live later and they're asking about her. They don't say I'm trying to think of what the question was that they asked about this specific thing. Like it wasn't, do you think that she had an affair? Because that's what we're all wondering. Did she have an affair? Andy words it in Watch What Happens Live. Did she have an affair with Aaron before? And it's like that's a thing that we can all discuss on the show and
I don't
find
care
that
who
out.
it was. I want to know, did it happen with anyone?
Happen? Yeah, exactly. But he's not asking that. He's like, Andy's questions are very intentional. When he asked Paige question that
Does Michelle
it's
not
escaping
seem...
out of one thing and landing on another thing, because we've talked about this before. We're not going to go there. We're going to go here. I think it's an intentional Bravo thing. When they don't ask very specific questions,
you're leading the witness, sure.
Or when it's overly specific and not the broader, bigger question, that we have. So yeah, I don't think we know, and I think that you might be onto something.
Clips of Michelle anytime this topic has come up, back into the who was this mystery celebrity that she was having dinner with. She is a professional secret keeper.
Yeah.
She says nothing. She never says anything until she's squished into a corner and then has to give you a little bit. Yeah. And then she knows exactly how much to give you, and she'll give it to you. And then everybody goes running around and putting timelines together, and she's just going to sit there because she knows if she opens her mouth, she's going to fuck up, and the secret's not that she'll fuck up, but she's smart enough to know the best secrets are kept inside. So I'm not going to say shit. I'm not going to answer your question. I'm not going to lead. I'm not doing anything. I think she 100% something happened with somebody else.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, she did really say a lot of candid things in the after show. I'm just going to say that. I felt like she did answer a lot of just different, not even about the affair, but I think she talked a lot about the wedding, how much it cost, all this stuff. I thought
What wedding?
Her and Jesse's wedding. I think she just gave us more details and opened up more than she has historically.
About a wedding?
Okay.
No, what the fuck?
No, I'm
does that
saying a
have to do
lot
with
of different
anything?
things. She talked about a lot of different things on the after show.
I'm realizing that everything I'm saying could be misleading in one way. I would want to clarify. I think she definitely had a side relationship. It's a vibe. It's a sort of an obvious thing to me, but I don't know what, it just seems like it's intentionally left vague by everyone, including Jesse. Jesse's not even really specifying except for things with Aaron that just I don't know. The things that she's talking about in the after show are they're things that would benefit her. They're oh, the wedding cost $150,000, and now Jesse's trying to say that I agreed to pay for half of it. So she's telling us the story about the wedding and the payment because she wants to tell us that now, Jesse, can you believe it? He's trying to get me to pay. He says that I.
No, but she also talked about having that apartment a year ago and them basically being split up, and then he talked her back into coming back into the marriage. So she did talk about other things.
Yeah. I'm just saying nothing that would make you go, oh, you did that, Michelle. Like everything was like in like either meaningless or would indicate that Jesse's trying to come for her and Jesse's trying to ruin her life and Jesse's being completely unreasonable and like
I have a
was trying to
question.
leave, you know.
Real quick, let me clarify too. When I say she's mums, we're keeping it secret. I'm not saying in life she doesn't talk, and on the show
That's what I thought you were
she
saying.
did a thing that was bad,
Got
and
it.
she knows as long as I don't say shit about it, it never happened. You guys can't find the body. There's no body. There's no murder. There's no murder weapon. There's no murder. Like,
You're talking about this specific
thing.
instance.
Yeah,
I understand.
like I don't think she's like that's her. I just think that that's one of the things that tells me, oh, you definitely cheated or whatever the relationship was. Like something was going on with someone else because you are being too quiet about it.
This is what I think happened. I think that she was ignored and treated so badly in her marriage the last few years. And I think she probably tried and probably showed up and was probably doing all the things that she thought she could do. And I think one day she was just like, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I wear. It doesn't matter how hot I look. It doesn't matter how naturally beautiful I look. None of this matters. This guy, like, this is the marriage. I'm looking at exactly what it is, and this is not going to change. And I think she was so out at that moment and just didn't have her actual out. And I think she had an emotional affair. And I think in her mind, she thinks, I never hooked up with this guy. Yes, did I tell him that I'm miserable in my marriage? And did I tell him that I am not in love with my husband? And all of these intimate details. And like, it's so nice to be able to talk to you. And I haven't been able to talk to someone in so long and have like a connection with someone. I think she's not tracking any of that as an affair. And it's like, what is sex, right? If someone's like, I don't have sex with that person, but you gave them oral sex. It's like, well, do you consider oral sex sex? And I think she's clocking this stuff as an emotional affair, being like, but I didn't have an affair. Like, yes, did I tell him I'm in an unhappy marriage? Yes, but I would tell that to the barista at Starbucks. Like, I think that's the math that she's doing
So
on
you don't
all of
think
it.
she had any type of relations
Physical?
with another person?
I don't know. I don't have enough hard evidence to make me think that she had a physical relationship with someone else.
Okay.
But it seems like you are leaning on the side that she didn't, and you've like, I don't, when I say this, it's just lack of better wording.
Yeah.
I don't mean like you've come up with the story. I mean, but like the story that you find most believable is that it was just an emotional affair because of X, Y, and Z, all the reasons that one would have one, but she never made that move towards the other side, which some people say emotional affair is an emotional affair. I would be very devastated at an emotional affair. We've talked about this before, but I do think that like actions matter, words matter, all the things. Like if there is a line, like I do think that holds mega weight. So I'm just wondering what she has done, or like what I'm missing that you are seeing to give her that much of a benefit of the doubt. Because like, to me, like she just seems like a human person that probably went a direction that so many people do. And I just don't see her being an angelic figure. And I know that you're not saying she's an angel. We've gone over this before too. So I don't mean that, but like
she borderline, this doesn't sound shitty, but like she borderline admitted it after the thing came out at the Dave and Buster's. That she was like, oh, who didn't say a thing to me, didn't say I was attracted, didn't kiss me, didn't touch me for like she lost it. That's why I think she knows, and we've talked about this before, said like she's really good until she's not. And then she has that one slip up. We figured it out. She's got to know that about herself. So when she's done something like have an affair, she's definitely keeping her mouth shut. And her slip up was letting us know why it happened.
And you think she had a physical affair?
I do.
And you think she had a physical affair?
I do.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm not even judging her for it. Like Mike and I are not people that are into that. That's not our thing. That we wouldn't condone that. It's not, that would be a huge ordeal. as much as judgy as I am on this show, it's just because it's a good time. I just enjoy being judgy because that's what these shows are for. Like you just get to judge the shit out of them. All my judgments that I make on this show, it will be hard for anyone to grasp. This will sound very loony. I don't mean it'll be hard for you to grasp. I don't mean that at all, but it will sound very loony when I say that in my real life, I do not judge this way. I look at everything very
You really
much
don't.
like, no, not at all. I think that I wish I was this very principled person that's just like, here's a hard line right here, you know? So like this is like my fairy tale moment where I get to just like be that person and say all the things that like, I wish there were hard lines. I am 29-year-old and like have seen some shit and have decided that like life happens and shit happens and you'll never know until you were in not even a position like that very specific position. It's all a very flexible thing.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I don't judge Michelle for deciding to make that move if she did.
Yeah.
So, but I think that she did because I just think that Michelle is going to do what Michelle wants to do after being with a dude like Jesse for however long. Like you take a year of that and like give this woman.
I couldn't take 5 minutes
something.
of it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That's why I say like I'm comparing it to like, is oral sex, right? Like,
Yeah.
is an emotional affair an affair? And I think most people would say it is. I think maybe she's in the camp that it isn't, or she's at least just telling herself this as so super cutie. Oh my!
I'm listening. Go on. She wants a
That's-
treat. That's all this is. This isn't love. This
Wait,
is
I want a
bribery.
treat too. Can
Wait,
I
did
have
you
a?
give him breakfast?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a good mom.
I put it in the bedroom. I bring it to them so that they don't have to go anywhere for it.
God forbid.
Yeah. Hand me that treat.
And hand
her
cork my treat.
Yeah.
Should I try one of those? What's the alcohol
Yeah.
content on that thing? Oh, thanks.
Oh, wait. Is that what you meant?
No, a beer.
You gave her a treat?
You said give. I thought to give to Foof.
Mike gave Courtney a cat treat.
Not to eat, to give to Foof.
Give her one of these Santa Monica ones. I don't know. Listen, it's no Kona, and I already slammed the last Kona,
Oh, I don't care.
but it's something.
I got a pets.
Yeah.
Basically,
Minnie's like, this whole thing was for me. I did all the work for this. There you go, Minnie.
yeah, Minnie. Basically, all I'm saying is I'm coming from a place of innocent until proven guilty. I don't have a smoking gun. I don't have, like Mike just said, I don't have a murder weapon. I don't have this hard proof. It's kind of how similarly, like I was saying in our episode of Summer House about Paige, like I'm not saying that everyone's wrong. I'm just saying I can't say that I think Paige had an affair because I don't have any hard proof.
It's a big
with it.
accusation
It's a big,
to
that's
make,
exactly what I'm
and
saying.
especially when women have to deal with that on a Bravo show. It's a whole,
And that's what I'm saying
yeah.
here with her also.
Yeah.
And I also think that like it lines up in the sense of, okay, you guys started dating so quickly after the breakup, because some people will say, you know, you might not have cheated on the person, you might not have hooked up with them, but you had your eyes on this person and you were teed up. That was so, Foof looks so funny right now. Look at him just with his, he keeps going back like that.
Because Minnie will take this mofo down.
Yeah, screw the patriarchy, Minnie.
Yeah, Minnie, get this mofo.
Get him. Anyway, I
She
think
starts
that's kind of
crying
where,
in the middle of the night.
Whatever, dude.
I think that's where I'm at with all of it.
Yeah.
Because I think that, yeah, did she probably have it teed up? I got my eye on him. He's cute. We've had, whether it was an emotional affair or we've had some interactions. I've dipped my toe in the water with him.
Yeah.
I just don't, because I don't have the hard proof yet. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Wait, let's all just like state, or like if we had one line to say, like, I leave you with this on Michelle's cheating, it would be emotional affair or no affair at all. A little over the shirt, under the
I no.
a little over the bra, under the shirt.
Okay. With my innocent until proven guilty theory with Michelle,
Yeah.
and all affairs, quite frankly, I think I'm leaving it up to the jury. Do you believe an emotional affair is an affair? Because I think that there was something in the world of that happening.
Got it, but no physical.
have you ever seen a lawyer? Hold on, sorry.
Are you a lawyer? That's what the
Seriously.
question is.
But wait, no. Have you ever seen a lawyer that's representing someone who's down for murder, and it's like, don't tell me if you did it. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Right, like that.
You
That's a
don't want
horrible
Michelle
lawyer.
to have done
No.
this.
What I'm saying
That's
is,
a cheap lawyer is
when
what
you're
that
saying
is.
like, do you think she didn't do it? I'm not saying I'm saying the same thing. Like if he's saying, don't tell me you did it. I can't say she absolutely did it. I can only say I don't have evidence that she did.
Okay, but your gut is saying she didn't.
My gut is saying there was an emotional affair, and I don't know if she had a physical affair. I have no
Okay.
No gut on
do
the
you
physical.
think if you were married, do you think, let me ask you to put, Natalie and I aren't married, but we're, I don't know, as close as you can
No
get without
comment on
being
marriage.
married, but like that will happen someday soon. Surprise.
I do my own
Spoiler alert.
taxes.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah,
That's
that is
very
true.
independent.
Yeah, Natalie's an independent woman. I've been trying to lock her down. She won't go for it. But like, let's say we're married, right? Full on. And we find out that, oh, Mikey here slid into some girl's DMs and we had a little chit chat for a few months emotionally and said something like, oh man, things aren't working. This YouTube channel's really gotten in between us and the love isn't in the air anymore. She edits in my bedroom. I don't even get kisses, whatever.
I don't
right?
even know if she's giving the cats breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. And then it cut like, are you like, well, what do you think about an emotional affair for a married couple? Do you think that's an affair? Or are you thinking that like, oh well, it happens. He didn't kiss anybody. So like, what are you telling your best friend?
I think I have a very different view on affairs than most people do. I think an affair is not the reason a marriage or a relationship ends. I think an affair is a symptom that there is a massive issue in your relationship. Because if someone wants to cheat, it's because their needs aren't getting met in their relationship. And I'm not saying that that makes that person right. I'm just saying whoever they have the affair with, that person could, on a certain level, be anybody. You are not happy in your relationship.
Yeah.
And so that's the actual issue. I don't care about the person that you cheated with. Like, yes, do I think it's shitty? Do I think it's the best look? Do I think people should be doing it? Absolutely not. But the fever is the symptom that there's a sickness in your body. And I think the affair is the fever.
So you're going to tell Natalie that we had such huge problems that's why I went emailing somebody.
And I would say, thank God that he did this favor for you and now is out of your life so that you can be with someone who would never do that to you, who would want to solve the problem with you and be a teammate, as opposed to finding the easy way out and just plugging into whatever's going to give you an endorphin hit.
Right.
I would say he did you a favor. And not to say that like it doesn't hurt, it's not disrespectful, it feels so shitty, and all of this stuff that we will walk through together as fucking best friends. Fuck this dude, okay? But I would say at the end of the day, I would be like, if that's how he's gonna act, then he did you a favor.
So you think anything's an affair? Anything that's not the two of us affair problem so unfixable that boom, blow the whole thing up. Blow 15, almost 16 years of being together up because someone emailed somebody.
No, sorry.
Because
I
the
thought you were.
problems are
Maybe
so
I misunderstood
huge.
the question.
What would you tell Natalie? My question was, if we are in that situation, same situation that you're saying, you don't have enough evidence that she physically had a physical affair,
Yeah.
but you do think that she had an emotional affair, right?
And you guys have been in counseling, seeing a therapist.
Set it aside. You think she had an emotional affair with somebody? Oh, like my husband is a piece of shit. Our marriage isn't. You treat me so great. I love how you respect and think I'm so strong. Blah 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 blah. Right? That's what you think happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you? And you were like, I'm curious to see what people think. Is that an affair? What do you think? Is that an affair?
Is that an affair?
If that happens to us 6 months from now, I get caught DMing some girl on YouTube who's like, "Hey, you're so funny," and then it's like a thing. What are you telling her? Are you saying like, it's not an affair? You need to. I never met with the girl. I never made out with her, or vice versa. She does it, and
is it apples to apples? Because they were in therapy. Have you guys also been in therapy at this point?
We don't need therapy.
Therapists ain't got nothing on this. No,
Yeah,
really, they don't.
dude,
They could not
shoot.
help this.
Therapists will go running out.
But if we're comparing apples to
A
apples, so
therapist, our therapist would
I'm
need a
about
therapist.
to run out.
I know.
But like, it's not apples to apples. Do you think an emotional affair is an affair? Courtney Abiadi,
You're
do
asking
you
me, do I think
that?
an emotional affair is an affair?
I don't care about why it happened or the merit. Do you think it's an affair?
So you're just asking that. How much of an emotional affair is it? Is it being like, I'm in love with you, I want to be with you
I think the
forever?
answer
Or is
no.
it, or is it
No, I was literally.
Yeah, the answer is no.
No, babe. But I was literally just thinking that because an emotional affair, if you're talking with someone, you're texting with someone, you're talking like whatever, you're telling them, I wish I wasn't in this relationship. I think that you and I would be so great. I'm having so many, he doesn't do this, that, and the other. Like that is an emotion. That's an emotional affair to me. But there's also someone just having all those feelings for someone at work. They're not saying any of those words to them, but they're like in love with this person in the next cubicle as them, but like not saying it. That I think you can't help, like how you feel about the person in your next cubicle, what you say to them, and like the plans, whether you ever fulfill them or not. If you're saying all those things, that is the thing where I was saying like an emotional affair would kill me.
100%.
That's would kill me to know that you were having conversations with someone.
If you're someone who wants to be with a person for the rest of your life and you think you're never going to be like, oh, that girl's cute or that guy's cute or like, man, he's so great. Like whatever. Like then you're nuts. The thing is like, no, I want her. I only want her. I want to end this shit with her. No other motherfucker getting in the way with that. Same with her. I hope.
No other motherfuckers dealing with her shit but me.
Yeah, and vice versa. Like, but like, so, but yes, like, if definitely in a 30-year marriage, somebody across the QB was like, oh man, whatever, or that you hear that, but yeah, you don't talk to that person ever. Like you avoid that person, and so that nothing else comes of that. You don't acknowledge it. You don't say anything to that. You don't like. So there's that, but I don't think anybody would think that's an affair. I'm talking an emotion, like you met a dude at Runyan Canyon or at the Chateau Marmont or wherever, and you're having full. I mean, there's conversations like, oh man, you met a dude, you're having conversations about your life and how like right now your marriage kind of sucks and you got this kid and your husband's kind of being an asshole. You're not thinking like, oh, I want to bang this dude or I'm going to, or you just met a dude and maybe he's attractive or shit, and you're just having conversations about your life. 100% not an emotional affair. If you get into that, like, oh, you treat me so well, like my husband never tells me I'm beautiful like you do when we're at Runyan Canyon. You tell me I'm the strongest woman ever. Yeah. He's never said that to me. Now we're getting somewhere. Like now we got fucking problems.
To me, because I think two different things can be happening, and I think someone could think both are an emotional affair. If I am saying to a man, right, like, oh my God, you would treat me so well, he treats me so poorly. I can feel myself falling in love with you. All of those really intimate things, right? That to me is an emotional affair. When I was describing what I thought Michelle was doing, I didn't say any of that stuff. I think it's more along like the lines of finding in her mind, finding a deep friendship. I'm confiding in you, just saying like, we're having a lot of problems. Like, I think we are headed toward divorce, or like, I don't think she was saying, I'm falling in love with you. I wish I could be with you intimately.
So I want you to pour your honey all over me and lick it off my hot bod.
I don't.
You don't think she ever said that?
Okay, so then you don't think that she's crossed any lines?
Well, no, I think there are people that would think that that's an affair. Like, that's an emotional affair.
Right, but what does Courtney think is the question?
I think if she was just doing that, then I think she's really walking a line. But I think like on a technicality, no, you didn't have an affair. And I think that that's what is making her like sleep well at night. He was treating me terribly. I never told this guy I wanted to be with him or was falling in love with him, but I definitely was confiding in him and really like enjoyed his company, but we didn't even hold hands. Like I never, let alone hook up with him. And I think that that's like the math that she's doing.
So then you probably think then, like, not that you think this, but like, with those things said, then Kristen's lying. And I understand that you said the thing about the text message where you think that Jax is the one that had told her some things, but Kristen has been very clear that her and Michelle were very close during a certain period of time where she was very anti-Jesse and Michelle was confiding in her about liking people.
I think Kristen could be having some artistic license with how she remembers it and how she's reporting it.
Okay.
Here's the other thing. It also seems like Jax thinks that he said, I heard XYZ about Michelle. Or I think, he wasn't saying Michelle 100% had an affair.
Yes, exactly.
Right? He doesn't think he said that. I remember the scene at the steakhouse or whatever. What's that place called?
I don't know, but it's in the valley. We should go.
No, it's the something
super
house.
Famous.
We've been there a billion times.
Cowboy house or something.
Is it something with like chops in the name?
Chop house.
Chop house.
No, the chops.
I think Mike's right.
It's in Burbank. It's right across from Warner Brothers.
Yes.
We would go there after the voice tapings.
Yeah.
I have a table read there. No, it's it's a something other house. Garrett and Brendan go there for like anniversaries and such. Like they always go.
No.
Smokehouse.
Yeah. Delicious cheese sticks.
Yeah, dude. If you're ever in Burbank, hip the Smokehouse. Super fancy, and it's true. A lot of executives.
It's
not fancy. It's not
like
fancy.
1970s. It's almost like they haven't redone
the
decor
fancy.
since
I meant like
I'm
late
here for that,
70s.
though. I love it.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
If you're into watching celebrities and producers, you'll probably find them there. Is what I meant. Not fancy like that. Anyways, I remember that scene.
Yeah.
And I remember Jax telling him, and then they cut back to it again. So like, but I think that Jax, because based off these text messages, like, hey, don't repeat that. I didn't know. Like, I'm just talking shit. And you're going out here telling everybody it's real. So Jax thinks that he's just talking shit, spreading them like, hey, I don't know, but I heard this. And Kristen then is like, oh my God, I can't believe Michelle's having an affair. She told me about that dude she met in Runyan who gave her honey.
Yes.
Oh my God. Hey guys, everyone, she's had a boyfriend for like 27 years.
Yes,
they're having
Marky
2 babies.
Mark.
They have a place in the valley. Like, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Like she met a dude camping once.
Yes.
Like,
Thank you. You really, nailed that, Mark.
Did you want to buy some of Jax Taylor's merch?
Obviously. What does it say?
I mean, listen, I do because it says I'm the talent. What? It's nice.
Don't worry, there's like 3 versions of this sweatshirt that all say I'm the talent. And he's posing in different places.
He's trying to get his.
You guys.
Wait, can we real quick talk about the fact that when we're now in the scene with Danny and Luke, Luke not only talked so much smack about our great goddamn city of Los Angeles.
We're skipping over Kristen's whole fertility journey. We don't care about her and her babies.
No, this bounces back and forth.
I don't think it does, but whatever.
The girls are doing fertility and the boys are in the house. Regardless, Luke went from hating LA so much to not only being one of the main characters on a show about Los Angeles, but now he's going to propose and have a child all in the city of Los Angeles. Even if the proposal happens outside of LA County, he's still got engaged in California. Like, bro, I just want to point that out. Maybe we can we're all capable of saying.
So many
technically, he gets engaged on a boat, and that's if they're 5 miles offshore. Then
that's why
international waters.
It's international waters.
That's why I said even if it doesn't happen in LA County, it's still.
It's not. It's international waters.
Okay.
He got married. He got engaged internationally.
It could have been Lake Tahoe.
Listen, there's just like I like Luke as is, and I won't jump ahead, but just him, what he ends up doing later with basically telling on his conversation, like as much as I was there for like his explanation of like, I just wanted to nip this in the bud, get like, I don't like games of telephone. I don't like things to drag on. I just want to like, nail it and move on with our lives. So mature. But all I kept thinking was, God, such a little bitch, which is horrible, but like I can't help it. Like he just doesn't like. I want to like Luke. I do like Luke now, but I still met Luke the way that I met him, talking shit about everything, anti-California. I don't like this. I don't like reality shows. Never seen the show. I don't know who Lisa Vanderpump is. Seen her on. I watched episode 1 and the finale of all Vanderpump. That's what you went back and you watched the pilot and you watched the end,
which Kristen wasn't even in.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, like why did you watch the finale? Yeah, like there's no reason for this. So there's just things about Luke that like I appreciate his position this year, but I will just always be like,
But we also have to remember that we talk so much shit on Janet, you especially.
I stay talking shit on Janet.
But for coming after Kristen and thinking like, I got this. I can take her out and be Queen Bee.
LOL.
Yeah. And you took the biggest L ever on that one.
Yeah.
And we talked about it and we're like, dude, that's Kristen. Like I hate Kristen, but not gonna fuck with her, dude. That's like with Lisa Vanderpump on like, don't do it. So the fact that Jesse, just going back to the tea party, the fact that Jesse's like, let's take the call sheet scene that's so obvious out of it and make believe for a second. The fact that Jesse is going so hard to convince her makes total sense because that's Kristen, right? And the fact that she's eating it up makes even more sense because that's Kristen.
Yeah.
She wants to, Jax is gone. Now it's Kristen's show. So she wants everybody to kiss her feet, bow down, kiss the ring, so all these things are making sense.
Or is she eating it up? I posed the question.
She was
It's not going to be
literally eating croissants up.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't? Let me tell you, I walked in there and I was like,
Bro,
I love a
jeez.
chocolate croissant.
Yeah, pain au
More than
chocolat.
anything, we order,
Yeah.
we overspend on getting them delivered, and
wish
just from
that
stupid
place-
Starbucks, like not even good ones.
No,
like,
those suck.
but no, they're not great. But that's
But
the
even
thing.
the
We're
one, the
still
fancy
ordering them.
place, those croissants suck. They look like they're $1 billion and they taste like.
No, you know
Not
who
$1
had the
billion.
best chocolate
Good, yeah.
croissants? The almond chocolate croissants at Bread Bar, and now there's no more Bread Bar.
Thanks a lot, Bread Bar.
Yeah.
No, Huckleberry in Santa Monica. I don't know if you guys can Postmates it.
In
don't
Santa
go
Monica.
that side of
What
the
fuck are you
405.
talking about?
Postmates.
Postmates. It took 7 years to get here.
Yeah. Every time I do
Should
that,
be stale.
I don't realize things are coming from Santa Monica, and I'm like, stupid. I was just saying something about
Snacks?
well, there are some snacks.
I'm going to get some in a little bit.
Okay.
Biff, go get us some mother.
Yeah,
treats.
gave you treats.
Jesus. He's like, what?
So Kristen may not be lapping it up in the way that we think. It could be that Kristen is so pro that she's just getting in where she fits in. She sees that this guy it's like a supply and demand, like
Opening on the roster.
yeah,
She plays the position.
Exactly. He's got a need. She could fill that need or get in the position to look as if she's filling that need. Jesse thinks he's way smarter than he is. He's pretty smart. Like, I mean, he'd be hard to go against, but he's not experienced in this, and that's the game. Having a 10-year experience of reality TV is a whole nother thing. So she could be genuinely, like we talked about, like just in a place where she's just like, oh, you're into me now? Great. That's great. I don't have a room for confrontation right now, so I'll take it. Or she could just be like, I will get every piece of information that I can from this guy and use it when I need to. If he doesn't f with me, I won't use it. If he does, I will. Like, that's a total option. Another thing that she says on Watch What Happens Live when she was on this last time, she says that there's somebody, like, aside from Janet, there's someone else who she is like at war with by the end of the season. I think like that she hates, that she turns on, that she's in and like it could be Jax. It could be that Jax comes out swinging when he gets home and just tries to take everyone out, and that's a thing, because I feel like she has said nice things about Jesse. It seems like they are still friends, but I don't know for sure. It could be a little misleading. You know, they're just leading us, pointing at one thing while something over. I don't know what it is, but it's either Jax or Jesse. I feel like
Could be Michelle.
Yeah, dude, what are you talking
she already
about?
doesn't like Michelle.
Right, but
That wouldn't
she's-
be new.
They're not at war.
Yeah.
Well,
And if
okay.
she's still
I'm sorry. I
friends with
got to say right
Jesse?
now, she didn't say I'm at war with, but I think the question was just pertaining to like by the end of the season, like who, like basically like people that you just aren't here for anymore or whatever. And it sounded like it was someone that was not currently on her don't like you roster.
Sounds like it might be Jasmine's girlfriend.
Yeah, she seems pretty offensive.
Yeah.
Can we get into the conversation that Luke and Danny had, though, at their apartment at the penthouse?
Luke and Danny. Who's Luke? Okay, that's Luke.
When Danny's like, oh, hey, Jesse dropped this little nugget in the group chat. Apparently, Michelle has been an a paid escort for some billionaire for $1,500 a night. Like,
I love how he
Wait,
tried
are
to.
you saying that, or you're saying that's what the text said?
that's what Danny said. Jesse said in the group chat, in the guy
Right.
group chat.
Got it.
I just wanted to talk about it because I thought it was the major storyline of the episode.
It wasn't. Like, I think what happened, those two were talking about how mean Jesse and Michelle were being to each other. That was the conversation they were having. And I would bet so much money on that. Even though all we saw was them sit down and be like, "Oh, he's had a thing, and he's having she doesn't have a job and no commission, and she might be having sex with a billionaire." And right after that, he was like, "Yeah, I just don't know about." Like, they were 100% having a conversation about how mean that fucking thing had gotten, how mean that divorce had gotten, how awful they were being about each other, or how awful they were being to each other. And I think that was Danny being like, "Yeah, let me show you how mean it is. He said this about her." Because that's all we got. All we got was that thing. But like, if you go back and watch it now that I've said this, you'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, I think that's true." I'm not saying I'm a genius, but like, that's what that scene read to me. And they cut out all the part about like the meat of the conversation, the context of the conversation.
No, I agree with you that that's what they were talking about. I think it's my point of bringing it up is like, that's a messed up thing to say about the mother of your child in a text thread to a bunch of dudes who, by the way, you have the world's thinnest argument, Jesse, when you're like, "I just put it out there because I was trying to see who the mole was." Then use a different lie. Use something about you, not about Michelle. She's not your just like punching bag to throw in front of these people. Because also, once that's said, especially if it's a lie, now she's got to contend with that for the rest of the season, or someone could look her up and like, it's just out there. And if it's not true, which it's not true.
So a couple
billionaires
things
would have to pay way more.
yeah. No, somebody was like, "That's a steal."
It would be.
Somebody said that. I think it was Zach. Zach's like, "I'm gay and that's a steal."
Yeah.
I would pay $1,500 to sleep with Michelle, and I'm a homosexual.
It's definitely not a steal. I'm not sure what rich dudes you guys are banging, but that's a high price hooker right there.
$1,500
from a billionaire for the night.
Yeah, what
for
they
Michelle? What are we talking about here? No offense, I think she's
Wasn't it like
beautiful.
$1 million?
$1,000,000.
Yeah,
With beep bop boop, as Nat would say, with
movie,
inflation.
Yeah, that movie's from the Bush years.
Long time ago.
I
So
don't
at
know
any
what
rate, I'm
administration
just
was
saying,
here.
I think it was just so gross that he did that. It's so typical Jesse.
Yeah, but it's nothing though. It's nothing new. This is the like.
No, it's nothing new.
Literal Red said, "This is the War of the Roses," and it
nailed it.
She nailed it.
Yeah, she nailed that.
Yeah. Also, I think her name might be Anne, but I don't know.
It's Auntie or something like that.
Maybe she's just an auntie. I think that, so a couple things. One, I'm betting another billion, the billion I just won off whatever I just bet on a minute ago. That comment is probably the tamest comment in that group chat. Like, dudes, in everybody's group chat. It's not just the boys' group chat. Like, if what happens in the group chat stays in the group chat. That goes for boys, girls, non-binaries, everybody's who's got a group chat. Don't talk about the group chat. Also,
dudes are the only ones dumb enough to have that kind of a
that's
group
exactly
chat.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, both of you.
No,
you guys.
No, girls would
never do it.
No.
No.
Okay, not true.
Immediately
You guys
no.
are-
No, yeah, immediately no. It's
Check my phone.
yeah,
Check it.
just-
I'll give you the password.
It ain't like that.
No.
We're not putting things in writing. That's how dumb Jax is, though. Jax is like, "Oh, I've got a divorce, a custody agreement, a financial disbursements all on the horizon, but that is nothing because I need to tell everyone here that I banged 10 strippers this week." Because Jax is like the walking version of like if I didn't Instagram this lunch, did I even eat it? Yeah, that's how short-sighted he is, and he is just the stereotypical the amplified example of dudes as a general. Like he is he's on steroids, but it is.
He's very far on one end of the spectrum, but he's still on the dude spectrum.
Yeah, totally.
Girls don't do that.
No, I would always think, and this could actually sound like it's not a respectable thing, like it's very calculated, but for the most part, I don't adhere to this 100% of the time, but I would say 99% of the time, I do not put things in writing that I think if anyone ever stumbled upon this, if anyone ever got their phone subpoenaed. So it's not even to the fault of your best friend. It's that, these guys came and took my stuff today. Like any of those things, like these things go through my mind when I am.
It's happened to me. I have worked for people who shall remain nameless, who one day I'm at work and they're like, give us your phone and your computer.
I was trying to keep her safe. But this is what I'm talking about. Like I say things to you, but like I will be like, delete, in case this ever happens to you again. I don't want to be on the other end.
And by the way, you would be, first of all, I knew they were going through everything. So, I like how I look, so I may or may not have taken pictures of myself. So I just gave it and I said, well, whoever checks this, tell them I said, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And then I was actually shocked at how deep of a dive they did and what was brought up. I was like, oh, wow, you read everything.
Yeah.
And by the way, it wasn't even my stuff that was being put forth. It was things that other people had sent me.
That's what I'm saying. That's how crazy shit can get.
Yeah.
So that is why I do not go those lengths to convey anything that I can't just pick up the phone and say, or have a lunch date and
anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
Yeah, I need plausible deniability. I need to be able to say I never said that's her word against mine. It does not need to be in print.
It's also just so funny to me how Jesse will, how Michelle will say something about him, whether it's like, oh, he has no money or whatever, or he never complimented me. I can't remember what the exact thing was. And Jesse says, she always has to say negative things about me. I'm like, oh, because her being a paid escort for $1,500 a night is a compliment. And I'm not saying that, like, it's a living, make it however you want. I have no judgment on it, but it's not like, oh, she's out there doing charity work with, animals that have, like rescue kittens. It's like, that's not necessarily a nice thing to say about the mother of your child if you don't know that it's true or if it's her private business or whatever.
No, I know.
Just so
I know. And I want to not, like, I'm going to go out of my way to not like say the thing like mother of my child, because like I just think it just person to person, like just don't this woman has worked for a career. You're in the same circle. You work at the same real estate office. It's odd that one of them hasn't gotten a job elsewhere because there's like 1 billion of them.
No, Michelle sells honey now. She goes to the honey conventions with what's his name.
She's not a real estate.
Her 10 by 10 and hawks honey.
So
you didn't see her giving the girls honey with her little shirt on?
No, listen, I saw that, but I missed the part then that explains why when someone said that she hasn't earned a commission in 2 years.
No, that was Jesse saying that on the group chat. So I don't know if I believe that or not.
Well, but then it would just like mean.
Plus, that's public knowledge. You can go look it up.
Oh, okay. Well,
or public record.
So like, but I mean, it would make sense. Like, if he's just trying to make something sound bad, that like, no, she hasn't practiced in 2 years. So of course she's not going to. It's like me. I quit Nordstrom. I'm still waiting to get my commissions from this month. You haven't worked there in 2 years. Oh, well, I haven't worked there in 20 years. But like, so I'm saying, you're saying that she does not practice real estate anymore.
No, I'm making
No,
a
he's
joke.
kidding.
Oh, because she was in the honey shirt.
Right,
no, that was his joke.
That's the base of my joke.
Mike, I want to tell you, 9 times out of 10, your jokes hit grand slam out of the park. That one just
for
fell.
Johnny they do, but I don't know about anybody else.
No, I laugh out loud.
Oh, you do. This is true.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I don't think that I wouldn't say 9 times out of 10 they hit. I think that there a couple are dad jokes with no children.
I love it, but see, I love a dad joke. Very much do. I don't the whole stuff when what's her name is getting the acupuncture. I'm happy for her. I'm so psyched she's pregnant. I don't really think anything happened in that scene that I really care about.
Yeah. Do you have something
you
on
brought
that
up?
scene?
Nothing happened at the acupuncturist.
Yeah, I felt like it was kind of a filler scene.
Yeah, I do encourage anyone who is having problems with fertility to go to acupuncture.
Oh my God, it works miracles.
Yeah,
it really does for so many things. Honestly.
Oh no, so many things.
Yeah, you had so much help with your migraines.
So much so much help that I can't even. I still don't understand how acupuncture works, and you got to go like twice a week minimum for like an extended amount of time. But if you don't want to be on meds, it's life changing.
Yeah. I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah.
I guess the next thing that they were chatting about was just Danny and like his whole getting handsy thing, which we knew he would overdrink or like,
Yeah.
just drink to the point that he said it, like I was blacked out.
Yeah.
But the handsy thing and like get a drink for daddy and all that kind of stuff is a little like, I'm nervous for how this plays out, specifically for you, because I know you always root for the couples of faith.
I have a little diatribe on him.
Oh, please.
Like a little, like, I need to like come up, like put like a title across when I do these things, because like they could be of less than no value. Like, but they are just things that I always try to like do a back step into like who someone is, how they got here, why that might be a thing. I have a feeling about who Danny Bucco, who Danny Bucco is. I have this like idea of him that could be, and it is very general, superficial, and out of just the mind of someone who has enough time to sit and
the mind of a man,
the mind of Jack Taylor. So Danny has been an actor. The first credit I could find him was from like the early 2000s, like maybe 2005, 2004, something like that. I had thought that he was like a child actor. I thought that he was like someone that like had like a role on a Zack and Cody or Hannah Montana. Like I thought he was like a Disney star actor.
It was iCarly, but I think he was like someone who was like 22 playing like a 16-year-old, I think.
So, but I thought that he had like a recurring spot. It seems like it's just a one-off. Like he's got a slew of one-offs.
I think he did he had a 3-ep arc on iCarly. Like one of them,
I didn't even see 3. I saw like 2 as the max on anything he's ever done,
maybe.
aside from a podcast.
I saw one that had a few, but like, yeah, I went and did the same thing a few weeks ago and was like, I don't know if I would tell people you're an actor, bro. You did like 5 eps total.
Okay, so I'm maybe gonna cut that because I am here to say, okay, I have a feeling that Danny Bucco is the kind of guy who has an ongoing struggle with like being so friggin' grateful for the successes that he's had, but almost equally as frustrated as like having the amount of consecutive over a span of 20 years hits that he's had that have never really gotten him over. And I think that is not new. And when I say getting over, I mean in a very broad sense, because everyone's definition of getting over is different. I might tell you that this guy has had 50 one-offs of just like one episodes, but like things that you've heard of. And then his last over 100 spots have just been voice actor and like loop groups, like just where you don't see them, you just go into post and you're, like the Walking Dead thing, which I didn't even see Walking Dead on IMDb as the thing. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm just saying like, I don't know. There are some things on there that say like so-and-so uncredited. Like he has a slew of things that like, I bet you that guy watched The Hangover and was like, I could have been Justin Bartha. Like I should have been Bradley Cooper because I'm bringing those kinds of looks and that kind of charisma. That's the level I'm bringing here. But like, I will settle to be the guy who went on a wild goose chase with his crazy ass friends and hopes to just get back in time for the wedding. Like I think that. And I don't blame him. He actually looks like that guy. Like I saw him and thought of that movie because I thought he could play this role. I've seen Danny Bucco in things. I have no idea what they are, but his face looks very familiar to me. But it also could be that he looks like 100 other actors that look this way, sound this way. When you hear him in his confessionals, in like the interviews, he's like, the tone in his voice, the projection, the emotion that he's conveying about the scene that we just saw. Like, I feel like this guy has been on a 20-year-long audition, in a state of audition. And I think that Danny goes after things with the kind of zest. He seizes opportunity like we wish so many men would. He met the beauty queen. He walked straight up to her, promised her the world, and is delivering the best of his God-given abilities. But he is on kid 4 under 4 now, having to move deep into the San Fernando Valley to support this family on a resume of voiceover roles and one-off guest appearances. And so many people would love to have this resume. There would be like, that's the dream, a working actor.
He has health insurance.
He has health insurance. He's going to have it. He's bought himself like to have it for however long. Like he really is doing something spectacular in comparison to so many people would love to be in his position. I have a feeling that he has a lot of weight on him. Like he seems like the kind of guy to me that heard from a young age, like the quote of fortune favors the bold, and has lived and breathed that. Like every day he seems to really be trying to like just knock it out of the park, and he's doing his best. I think this guy is doing everything he possibly can. I think that he is maxed the fuck out in so many respects. And I think that he has a drink or two and in that moment feels numbness from that in a way that like he never gets to feel off the hook, that it's off his plate like that. I am making all of this up of is very
I agree with you completely.
Spectator sport, me trying to figure out, these things. It's also not a new thing. This is many people in Hollywood, but this guy, I really believe that he is trying so hard to be the best guy, do the right thing. I think he leans into his faith to combat that struggle that he's feeling, because he knows that the Corey Haim's and the Corey Feldmans of the world, like there's a fork here. You can go this way or you can go this way, but to go the right way, like you've got to do the work. You've got to get ahead of it. I think that's why he leans into that. He says, like in one of the early episodes, I'm too blessed to be stressed, which is a great perspective to have. I think like you have that, like you never complain about anything without. You don't even end the sentence and say, but also you can join it with, but I'm so grateful to even have this problem, and thank God I have all these orders that I have no idea how I'm going to fill, and like that I'm spending 48 hours, I haven't slept in 2 weeks, and thank God that I haven't slept in 2. Yeah, what a blessing. Well, you're like, so I love all that about him. I think that is what is causing Danny. I think that is what is causing Danny to lean in so hard to, because they said he doesn't do happy hour. He doesn't really go out with the guys. It's one night where he chooses, okay, we're going to do it. And then he just goes so hard that he wakes up with like a trail of unfortunate mishaps that he doesn't remember, that people would tell him about. He didn't remember it so hard that, and you didn't see this in the after show, but when he is explaining this night that he got a little grabby, he heard, when he was on the phone with whoever was telling him about how this night went, it was Jasmine and Melissa. He heard Jasmine and Michelle, so he called Michelle and or Jesse.
And he was blacked out, so he didn't remember.
Didn't really, like, so when someone told him you did this to Michelle, he's like, oh my God, try calling Michelle to like make it right. It wasn't Michelle. So he truly does not remember anything, but is like on the horn the next day trying to make right and whatever. Anyway, all I'm saying is that I do not condone it. Do not touch my waist. Do not grab my ass. Do not refer to yourself in the third person. Certainly not as daddy. Please, God, do not do these things. But I see the map of like how
me too.
He got there
very clearly.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Because if you even look at last season when they were at Lake Tahoe or Big Bear or whatever, when they went on the baby moon.
Yeah.
He had drank a lot.
Yeah.
And you saw him start to turn, and you saw like the emotion come out of him. And he's an emotional guy anyway, which I love about him so much. But it was unbridled emotion.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, okay, well, we're going through this and this is why I feel this way. And it's a lot. And him starting to like cry about all that stuff, which I totally get.
Yeah.
And then he did also have like a really sharp moment with Nia
at
that dinner when they were on the baby moon. which just goes to show like his emotions are all over the place.
Yeah.
And the only time he's really like just letting everything out is when he drinks too much. And Nia knows it, which is why she cuts him off and
Yeah.
says, we're going to bed now, or our cab is here and our Uber's here
Yeah.
and the babysitter has to go. Like she knows how to measure it. And I wonder if in her mind, she's thinking, listen, we do at this point, right? We do have 3 kids under 3. And I get that he's really stressed. In my mind, it's like, right, well, what is she not stressed? And now she has to take on his stress.
Yeah.
But I wonder if she gives him a pass because he is a really good, or seemingly, we don't know how the story with Hansy ends up, but like seemingly he seems like a really good guy, a great dad,
Yeah.
a present husband. Like he's the one talking to the guys last season. Well, do you know what her love language is? Like, you know,
No,
it's
that's
so
what we were
sweet.
saying. We were like, this is why this guy has all these kids within like a 5-month span
With the hottest wife.
chick on the show, is because he knows how to treat a woman. He
Yes.
knows how to be a good partner, how to be a great husband. I hope that this guy gets either the gig of a lifetime that sets him up for the foreseeable future, or a role that feeds his soul and self-worth enough to be able to put some of these things to bed, because I think he's done everything that you can possibly do to deserve it, which doesn't mean anything. So many people in this town have, and it doesn't matter. But I just think that no more kids. Nia, don't ask him for any more children.
I think she said,
I
like,
hope-
I'm
I hope
done.
she is. Yeah.
And
But,
I
like,
get
this
it. There are
guy is
people
so
that want to
maxed
have a
out.
big
Yeah.
family. Clearly that's her and
Yeah.
him. It seems like they agreed upon that,
Yeah.
you know, when they were dating. I just think, honestly, I think a little bit of therapy would go a real long way
Well,
with Mr.
He does
Danny.
go.
To
He
therapy?
does go. I truly think that he is at a point. I think it's just like, yeah, he does go to therapy.
Well,
And they go to couples therapy. He does all the things, and he talks to his Lord and Savior. He does all the things that like this guy knows how to do. All the tools in the toolbox are being utilized.
Okay.
I think it really has to do with, once you look at his resume, again, so many people could look at this resume and be like, oh my God, this guy's a bajillionaire. Or like, he has had more work than you've ever seen. He has more credits than you could possibly want. Except for if you have been working at something for 20 years or I'm sure more, because 20 years is just how long it's been since he got his first
Gig.
Yeah, because 2005.
So he could have been
2025.
auditioning 2
So
years
he could have been
prior
doing
or
that
whatever.
for years, 10 years, a decade. Who knows? And so I think that if you look at that, you will see how this guy has gotten to where he's gotten. And also, people gave him a lot of shit because he was saying like, she just doesn't get it. Like how she doesn't know like how hard it is for me, or how, like, I can't remember what this exact line. Do you remember him saying something like, she doesn't understand like what I go through or what I have to do or whatever, which everybody was like, okay, she's birthed 3 children, 2 at one time, and literally has like, which all the things, all of that is true. But there is just something that might not be, and I'm not,
I think he was referring to himself as, like, they were talking about how hard it is to have 303 or 302 or whatever the fuck it was at the time. And he was like, hey, she doesn't understand how hard it is for me too. And I think that's when they were like,
right.
okay, dude.
So at face value, problematic, right? Like at face value, nobody wants to hear that. Like, 'cause it's basically like it's almost like comparing it to when Jack said to Brittany, I can't do this on my own. And she's like, you don't do it on your own.
Never have.
Never
Rot
have,
in
never
hell.
will. Yeah. I think what he is saying, possibly what I gather from what he was saying, is that he's doing all that, which is insanely hard, while also trying to do something that is so self-propelled and creative, and like never, that you don't know if you're not on a linear track. You don't
that
know.
in and of itself is like summiting Everest with no oxygen.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then you add onto it the 3 under 2, the wife, all of that stuff.
You have no time to come up with things in your head to do a bit to set yourself apart, because there's no, like,
because you're not Jason. You're not going to your law firm every day, or you're the in-house law firm at CAA and like you're getting your $300K every year and it's guaranteed. It's always searching for your next paycheck.
And never doing enough Because if you haven't gotten it today, then you didn't do enough yesterday. And like that is so real.
But that's not even true. Like you could be doing everything.
That's what I mean. Exactly. But if you haven't gotten it yet, we will all tell you, then you're not doing enough because you have to. If you chose this job, Mike always says when somebody asks him about being a writer or being an actor, he will always say, is there anything else you're good at? Anything else you like even a little bit? Oh, go
do that.
Go do that.
When I was graduating from college, we have like the best alum, and one of them is Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, and he came to like speak to our graduating class, and he said the exact same thing. Yeah. He's like, I have had success. I have been on one of the greatest television shows of all time, and I am telling you, if there is anything you could ever, even for 1 millisecond, imagine yourself doing other than this, ride that horse into the sunset.
Yeah.
And if you can't, welcome, kids.
Yeah.
He's the nicest, most lovely gentleman.
So I had never thought about that thing that we were all giving him like an eye roll for, because I did too, not thinking about... No, that's so true. And I'm not saying feel bad for actors and writers. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like,
to put it in perspective.
But put it in perspective, and to also, like, if you've never tried it, then like just consider the fact that you might not know like what that life is and how gnarly it can be to know like you've done everything times 1,000 that you can possibly do. It doesn't mean anything.
I do think, though, that they're actually in a really good spot because she is so likable and so beautiful. And clearly they've got these adorable children and like this sweet life together that are seeming, who the hell actually knows. But we'll see how the season ends. But I think she could start really making as much as he does, if not more, from doing influencer stuff just from the platform of this show.
Yeah.
Because she just didn't obviously have enough eyes on her. But of course, she could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
No, totally.
Like she's so anyway.
And I've mentioned that they have a podcast called Hold My Crown, and I've said like, listen, it's not riveting, but it is wholesome. And I listened to it again today, and because she did a recap of her time on Watch What Happens Live, which it was like 2 weeks or at least a week ago that they were on it. And so she just did the recap today. So that they're busy at home. Okay. They've got 200 kids.
Yeah.
So, but it was interesting. She talks about how like she regrets her time on Watch What Happens because like they put her on the spot and said like, who is the person that you, who out of the group picked the worst partner? And she didn't have an answer right off the top. And then Kristen goes, just say it. And what she was insinuating was say, Jason. Because he chose Janet as his partner, and she says it, and she goes, I hate myself. I would never want to make anyone feel bad. I've been thinking about it ever since I said it. I hate that I put this out there, that it was like such a mean thing to say, but like they ask you shady questions and like, you don't know, so you gotta like say something. And she's going all in it. Like I so identify with like, I got like just going going over that in your head for a week and whatever. So anyhow,
like really sweet.
You know, what?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like she said Jax for every other answer. The one that she should have said it for, she doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know, but listen,
if
like they all like as of today, the thing had like 320 views. If you like the beauty queen and you like Danny Bucco and you're in for looking for a wholesome podcasting with no swears,
something to watch with the whole family.
then check out whatever I said the name of it was. Hold My Crown. Yeah, it's very sweet. One more thing about the billionaire thing that was just like in the after show that I felt unresolved about was that Michelle said that, like when it just came to him, like Danny taking responsibility for having a part in this thing. She said, Danny never said a word to me. I saw him at church the next week and he never said a word to me. Danny says that he did apologize to her. The wording is like a little vague because she could just be basically implying that he saw me a week later at church and didn't say anything to me. He could be saying said something to her, but it just like wasn't at church, which I don't know if I would, if I'm at church and I see you and I need to apologize to you for calling you a sex worker, I might choose another location aside from the house of God. But that's just, my own hang-ups. I don't know.
Danny's apologizing or Jesse's apologizing? Who?
Danny, because they were all pinning it. God, you didn't watch the after show.
You also have the Cheez-Its over there. What? Oh, I didn't see him.
So they pinned it on Danny? Like, that was the other thing about this whole thing of like, everybody, like, they're like, oh, Danny, what's wrong? Oh, well, Luke said a thing. No, you said a thing. Jesse, what happened? Oh, well, or no, Luke said, Danny said, like, nobody, including Jesse, was like, oh, well, I said this text in a text chain to get out a mole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when the problem came up, it was, oh, well, Luke blabbed his mouth. Oh, well, you're the mole. Like, it was almost, I get it, different show. It was a little Jesse Solomon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, the girls told me that you did all these things. I can't believe they told you those things.
Yeah.
Cool, but let's talk about why you did those things. Oh, man, they told you?
No, that is
no, dude,
like,
you're missing the whole point.
No, Jesse, I think, I don't know, but I would say straight up lie about trying to snuff out a mole.
100%.
I do not. I do not. I don't. I have some notes for group text people. Like 20 to 30 is too many.
Yeah.
You're not snuffing out a mole. You're trying to snuff out multiple moles. That's too many. It's too many. You're never going to keep a secret. Your group chat will never stay quiet with that many dudes in it. You got to keep that shit small if you want to be psychotic and crazy about your text messages.
Just have guys' dinner. Let's talk about it across the table.
Also, nobody can really keep a secret.
That's not a thing. Like I'm not in any of these group chats because I'm a different weird kind of dude. But like, I know of all these group chats are gnarly, dude. Like, they're gnarly. And when I say they're gnarly, you guys are both like, oh, tick, 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 tick. Nope. Nope.
No, there was a moment where the computer that I edit on was linked to your text messages. And I literally was like...
Okay, so listen. That's the production group chat. That's at work.
So I understand.
That's my work group chat.
Things are popping up. Like, I need to disconnect this iCloud because it was Austin. I think that I was like, oh God, Austin. I know that was not meant for my eyes. That is disgusting.
What did Austin say? Don't put this in.
I can't even remember. I blocked it out. So don't say that I don't know I know. I get it.
That being said,
only dudes do this though. Just
which is what we said in the beginning of this. Thank you.
Not true.
It's true.
It's not. Older ladies like 29 and up or whatever.
But Nat's only in her 20s.
Yeah, and you're only 33. So
Christ almighty, this one is a tough one. I wish I hadn't read that comment.
Wait, what you wish you would have done is had 2 beers. It would help.
Clearly. Anywho, I don't think he was lying about the mole thing because that's something that him and Jax would definitely talk about. If there was shit coming out about Jax before cameras, like the thing that he said. And that's that it happened. Like there's people say shit and then you're like, we got to figure out who and get him the fuck out of here. Or the whole group chat is done. Like it happens. I don't think he made that up.
I think that he used this specific. I'm sure that there was someone that they were talking about. Like, there's a leak here. Too many things are getting back, which is also just like hilarious. There's 30 people on here, so like this is. You're not really serious about snuffing out the mole. Otherwise, you would never have 30 people on a group chat. So I don't buy that. I do think Jesse and Jax are dumb enough, dumb smart because they're also very smart, but also so dumb in certain. Jax isn't smart at all, dumb all the way around. Jesse has smart points, doesn't practice them and everything. And if they wanted to snuff out a mole, I'm sure that's a thing that they thought they could do. This specific thing that he said about his ex-wife, I believe that he used the mole issue as
Me too.
a thing, like
I think he used the statement, the comment about his wife to specifically see if it was Danny.
and I see why you would think that, because it is a very ridiculous
It's
kind
so
of rumor. It's
ridiculous.
so like
And
to hear
if
it
you
again.
guys thought it was him, he would, like, that's a specific to the group, specific to the show, specific to Danny, who's got to tell his wife. He's going to tell somebody about it, right? Probably going to tell his wife. He decided to tell Luke. Okay, well,
Luke and his wife.
yeah, like we know Luke's not keeping his mouth shut because, like, he's Kristen's minion now. Like, so she's got someone to do her
And
bidding.
Luke understands the
Yeah,
assignment.
Yes, he
he's
does.
like, you know
Yes, you
what?
do,
At
boy.
least not that bad. Like, I don't even have money and electricity in Colorado. The fish are all like weird radiation huge. Like, that's got to be fun. So like, I think it was super specific, and I don't know. I'm not saying this. Oh, this is what happened. This is just what I think. My opinion is this was very planned to see if Danny would spill the beans. Nobody else is in the group chat of the friends that are on the show.
Well,
Nobody?
not Tiger, because he is an android, which is hilarious.
I
And
know.
because he's a lawyer, so, and also his comment to him, that was I think that was Jason f***ing with Jesse, like telling him like, you're bro. When he was like, well, listen, it's not a problem if it's true. It's not liable slander if
Oh,
it's
yeah.
true. So you
See,
don't have anything to worry
dude.
about. And Jesse was just like,
Yep.
Okay,
I love that comment.
No, I
Yeah.
love that take so much more. I took his comment as that, like, I took that as this is the only thing. Like, I'm laughing all the way to wherever one laughs to.
The bank?
Yeah, but I'm not getting paid anything to laugh about this, so that's why I just decided not to use that one. But I'm laughing all the way to wherever until when Jason said that, because I thought that he was like, if you're worried about libel and slander, like if it's true, like then you have nothing to worry about. Like I thought he was saying it in a way that was like almost reinforce. Like it sounded to me like, oh, they've already talked about this. It sounds like
Yeah,
it might
yeah.
be true, and
Yeah.
his friend is telling him like,
right.
that's the thing.
The
If it's
first
true, it
time
doesn't
I
matter.
watched it, I thought that same thing.
But
like,
now you
oh,
think he was
snap,
with him.
banging a billionaire.
I took it the way you took it.
Second time, I was like, oh no, that's
was
a
one of
lawyer
these.
being like, bro,
Okay.
you're
Okay.
fuck 'em.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. No,
You're an
I love
idiot.
that so much
If
more.
it was the other way, it's so out of character for Jason too. You know, like, again, not saying it was one way or that, but like, I don't even think Jason, as we know Jason and love Jason, would say, if he was like, hey, bro, it's cool. We know it's true. You're fine. He wouldn't say that on camera.
But he does have a habit of answering things that are like everyone else is just talking normal dude speak, and his reply will be something of like a pragmatic, common sense,
100%,
supply and demand,
right.
effect, cause and effect.
Exactly, which is
bulls,
why
bears.
Yeah, bulls,
which
buy,
is
buy low,
why-
sell high.
which is why I think what he was doing is saying you're f***ed, because that's pragmatic. The other thing is shady and like well, who's your scaramouche? Like, it's like,
I love Scaramouche.
Yeah, your boyfriend.
Emotional affair or physical nap?
Whatever he'll have.
Yeah, dude. Only because she hasn't met him. It's emo.
He's also like 4 feet tall, I think.
Whatever. He's probably, you can hide him in your pocket.
A pocket smooch.
A
Yeah.
pocket affair.
Pocket mooch.
So I think he was like,
Great. I love that.
yeah. And if that's what I'm going with, because that's cooler. It's more Jason. Is
Yeah.
my point. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're at Dave and Buster's. I get it. There's the whole thing about like the vote. Should he be in the house? Should he not be in the house? After Brittany says like, wait, hold on. I know I jumped.
Skipping so far.
So far straight to the end of the show.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, man, carry
you
on. I'm just
go.
like, you're just like, there's a whole,
Well,
there's so many things that happen.
I
But
know.
say your thing about the
good.
last scene of the episode, and then we'll go back.
What I was going to say is that I get it. Like, we're at Dave and Buster's. She wants to pick her prize, Janet, Karen, whatever her name is. what's his name gets the Heisman from Jesse. Danny gets the Heisman from Jesse. He doesn't want to hug him because he thinks he's the mole, which is this ridiculous. And I love that Brittany said something to what's her face. I love that she was forthright and was like, listen, this is what just happened. I got to tell you, he said that you're charging $1,500, right?
Yeah.
I have to say and then like the whole vote goes down. The only thing I really cared about in this scene was when Michelle cracked and was just like, this is such bullshit. He's broke. He's got all these money problems, this, that, and the other. That's when the scene got interesting to me.
You have got to open your eyes to this woman.
I know.
You've the most massive blinders on. And I'm
it's because I hate him so much. I don't like him so much. I know.
Still can say I agree with all the things that you say about Jesse. All those things are totally here and real and 1,000% the worst man to ever. Oh my God, I would sooner die. But like, what did she do to get you to just give her basically the benefit of literally every single doubt?
Do you think that she's lying about the money stuff?
That he's broke?
That like they did make all this money. He spends like a drunken sailor, all that kind of stuff.
I know that guy. His name is Stan Abel. I know him well. Sits with the big dogs at every table and then yells at you for what you bought at TJ Maxx when you get home because you got to save the money for over here. Like rolling with them all the time, investing into restaurants with NFL coaches and owners that like, this guy's a college coach. These guys own the Cowboys. And like, this is
little difference in salary.
Things are different. Yeah. When the restaurant goes under, what do you think $100,000 means to my dad and means to Barry Switzer? Not the same thing, you know? So I know that guy exists. What I think about the way that Michelle is talking about it now is as if she couldn't have done something while all of these things were happening. If she noticed it and she recognized it, why wasn't she ciphering off $1,000 a week out of their paychecks into a different account, calling it out? This cannot happen. If what he's saying is true, that they both had all access to all the accounts and whatever, it seems to me like she was partaking in these $20,000 meals. $20,000.
Those are for the guys,
meal?
the gentleman lunches.
There was only one. That was just the highest one.
Okay.
That was the highest one, and it was the gentleman lunches.
Okay, $5,000 bottle of wine.
But haven't you ever, maybe not, had a lovely partner who sometimes works very, very hard, but also like you're not stopping Mike from buying another bike?
So I'm saying that when I get upset, I think about like there were years that Mike and I were both on 2 shows each at the same time, making gobbles of money. And I hate it when people go, I was raised differently. It's not that I was raised to not spend that way. I just was raised around people who I saw that things were really hard to get and that you had to really maneuver to get certain things that like, I feel like I know how to spend very little just from like watching my mom spend very little. And it's not about like that she raised me to be this way. It was just like what I observed. Yeah. And so that's how, whatever. On the other side of that, if Mike and I are looking to each buy a bike, he might buy one that is $5,000 and I will buy one that's $500 and his bike will still be going strong today and mine will have lasted a month. So like I do also understand the other side of like buying high quality and doing all that research and spending money on that kind of thing. I'm not saying that my way is the right way. It's far from it. But I just feel like that Michelle is for whatever, if we go back to the comment about like not making a commission in 2 years, I don't know if she's not practicing real estate anymore, if she's just all in on Aaron's company. That was a joke. Now I get it, but I took it the wrong way because of what we were talking about with the commission. That made that make sense to me. I just feel like she's talking a lot of shit right now about things that she may not have had, like you don't have control over when someone leaves the house and drops $10,000 on a pair of shoes or on whatever it is, a piece of art. I don't know. But I think that there were many times where Michelle's probably kicking herself that she didn't do those things. And it seems like she's very quick to point fingers now and whatever, because they are really struggling for money more so than they ever were, because they, as she says, they were doing very well, selling $50 million homes and doing $60 million deals. These are just like, I'm just repeating. I don't even know what a $60 million deal means. What does that mean for her? Just because it's a $60 million, that doesn't mean she's pocketing, or maybe it does. I have no idea.
It's her commission. So
60 million is her commission?
No. She gets.
They're not selling
God,
$60 million houses. These two, they rent a fucking place. Like,
So-
come on.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, I don't know how like it is all very gobbledygook to what gobbledygook gobbledygook. It's all very that. I don't know what's real and what's storytelling in any of this, and I just feel like my biggest issue with Michelle is that it just seems like she never takes any accountability for how this all came to be. I've always said from the get, as you have said too, that this guy did not change over time. Like this guy was this guy, was this guy, was this guy. And I just, all the like hemming and hawing now about where things are, like if I could just hear her one time be like, I wish that I would have, like I said, just been taking some money and stashing it away for a rainy day, because like I kind of knew, I had a feeling this guy wasn't exactly someone I could rely on forever.
Well, she might have been doing that because she was able to afford an apartment and pay the rent.
Or they were just both making
place.
money at that time.
Well, at the end of like last season, right? She's
Yeah.
like, I've paid you for rent for this place and I've rented my new place. I'm not asking for the furniture or any of that stuff. And I really do get grossed out with how he describes everything, where he's like, oh, and I said my ex-girlfriend got me that. Like everything he talks about is in an effort to build himself up to be this amazing catch of the century.
What's her efforts to do though?
What is her efforts for?
Like all I want you to do is just tell me anything that you think about her that like might have been a little problematic.
Oh, listen, she could sit there and be like, listen, and I picked him and he's a terrible husband and I wish I never married him. Like she could, but like I decided to marry him. Like, so I get that. And like, this is a mess that I have to clean up. She could totally say all of that. For whatever reason, I guess her sins don't bother me as much as his sins do, because I feel like it's very hard to control an incredibly bold personality, which he has. So if he wants to treat everybody to a $10,000 dinner and he throws his credit card down, yeah, you get in the car at the end of the night being like, what is wrong with you? All of these people have more money than us. Like, I get that you think that like we can spend this. We can't. And he's like, it's fine. We just closed this house and I got another big deal coming in, because this is like the dreamer kind of person, which is wonderful. I love dreamers. I'm just saying, like, with money stuff, because I have money noise. And so I like have worked my ass off. It's still there in therapy to like not worry about getting the glass of wine that's $2 more. Right. But you can't stop your significant other from ordering the most expensive thing on the menu all the time, unless you just want to have a fight all the time.
Yeah.
And so I just was going to say, like, I also just think that I'm not saying that she's blameless at all. I just think she's the lesser of two evils in this situation. Not that she's evil or he's evil, but it's a saying in this situation. And I think for him to say she's made no commission in 2 years. Okay, well, I don't really know if that's true. I guess I could look
don't
up
either.
her.
That's what I'm trying to figure out too. Like,
but I do think that like the money stuff that she's talking about with him is real. Because let me tell you something about Jesse Lally. If he had the money, trust, he would have hired a killer attorney to get after her. He would not be representing himself.
what? Jesse, who thinks that he knows better and best than everyone else? You don't know people that do. I know people that hire a gang of attorneys and then still represent themselves at the end of it. Like billionaires that do this, one specifically. That like there are people who just go.
I think of it as like Cherie from Atlanta, like her ex-husband, Bob, who was a super smart guy, graduated from Stanford, but he, in their divorce proceedings, represented himself because he couldn't afford a lawyer, but he also was just like, it's fine, I'm smart. And he is really smart, but like, trust me, like you wish you could have hired an attorney. I also think it's crazy that, and maybe she's lying, but has he paid any child support?
I don't know, but what if he has no money? What would he pay?
This is why I'm saying I do think he
say,
has.
You can't say that this guy's totally broke and can't pay his rent, and then be like, I can't believe he hasn't given me any child support. It's one or the other here. That has money that he's withholding from you, or he has no money and he's a total fuck up.
See, I didn't take it that she was saying it that way. I thought she was saying like he has no money. He has paid me no child support, like,
but can't pay his rent.
I think he does just enough to like pay his car note, his rent, and like some stuff to make him look like he's all flash, but no cash. Like, I think he's one of those people that likes to put on a front for other people, but he's like, it's fine. She's making money. She can take care of Isabella when Isabella's with her, and I'll take care of Isabella when Isabella's with me. I don't need to pay you any extra. It's 50-50 down the line. Like, I don't need to give you any extra support.
Does it make sense? So what I'm saying, that like if you're calling him broke and that he can't even pay his rent, and then in the next sentence complaining that he's not giving you any child support, like that it's either one of them is a lie or one of them is exaggerated to disparage him. Or
so you said two things. One, you can't stop your spouse from buying the most expensive thing on the menu, and you also said that Natalie would never stop me from buying another bike. Both of those things are not true. If you have a spouse, like she could definitely say, don't buy another bike. And that's, I would not buy another bike, like, because we give a shit about each other. And if I'm going to the restaurant and I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to get the $120 steak, she can 100% be like, the you are, get the $40 steak like a normal person. And I'll be like, yeah, all right, fine. Like, it's fine to do that once in a while. And if any of us want to sit here and think that Michelle didn't also enjoy those things that he was buying, we're crazy. She totally did. She never clearly had a conversation with him about it. So my point is, just backing her up, is like, couples do have those conversations. They do talk about money. She's not going to stop me from buying a bike, but like, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to do this, and here's how I'm going to do it, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not just going to willy-nilly buy a bike and bring it home.
I felt just in the vein of just being so honest, there are many times I don't say that to you, don't buy, because you do work so hard. And I think this guy's going to have a nervous breakdown if he's going to work this hard and have no fruits of his labor. Like, I think about those things. I think it's unhealthy. I think people that work and get to enjoy none of anything. So I just want to say that, like, what she's talking about is a definite reality of things. But what you're saying about how she got to enjoy all those things and never said dick all like during enjoying
just
all those
making
things.
A point
and
that, like,
I know, I just wanted to say, because I just feel like I just don't want to, I feel like it's written all over my face. Like, I would be lying if I were to say that, like, I don't understand that's a thing, and that there have been many times that I have not said don't buy that thing, even though I knew we could not afford it. But I also knew this guy works 15 hours a day, and like, let him have the thing and we'll figure it out later, because like he deserves it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Like, Jesse does not work like Mike does. I don't know many men that work like Mike Connor works. So.
If we left each other, would you complain that I bought a bunch of stuff? If I couldn't give you money, or we didn't have any money, would you be like, oh man, he bought all those things that I told?
I know my part in this. Right. I'm very aware of my part in this. Yeah.
I also think different couples talk about things in different ways.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There are some partners who have no idea what's in any of the bank accounts. I get that Jessie said she knew what was in all the bank accounts. And I'm just, to your point, I'm not saying that she's playing smart and stupid with this. I took it as she was using one point to bolster up the other. So her saying, he has no money, he can't even pay me child support. That's how little money he has. When he says, oh, like, we still split our health insurance, he says, you have to send me the money now because I don't have enough money to cover you. So I thought she was just saying all of that to support what she was trying to prove as he's not doing well financially. That's how I heard it. Not like, oh, he has no money and he should be paying me this. I thought she was just using it to support the fact that he doesn't have, isn't flush with cash currently.
But then, so then does he have money for child support? Do they make, like, I honestly, cards on the table, I don't know how child support works. Like, I don't know how it's figured out. I don't know, like, if they've got like a 50-50 custody, I don't know who makes more money between the two. Because I mean, it sounds like she has not made a commission in 2 years, but then it also sounds like he can't even afford to front her half of the medical bill or the insurance bill. So I really have no idea what is in these people's bank accounts. So like, is he a deadbeat for not paying child support if he doesn't have any money, or if she's making close to, if not like the same kind of money that he's making? Because as far as I know, they both do the same job. But again, I don't, because if she's not making, I really have no idea. So like, what should he be doing? Like, who makes more money between the two
I
of
don't
them?
know, and I know that every state has different child support laws. So, and the ones that I'm the most familiar with for whatever reason are in New York and New Jersey. So I don't know the ones out in California.
Are you legally required to pay child support if you're not yet divorced and there's been no?
Yeah. You can definitely be, without a divorce being finished, you could still be legally required to pay child support.
Right, but there would have to be some sort of judgment. Like there has to be some sort of judge or somebody to make that, to say that. Like
divorce and this I definitely know, like divorce and custody agreements are not mutually exclusive.
Fine. Then there has to be a judge.
Yeah, some judge has to say
you can't just leave your husband and be like, you owe me child support, and then complain that you're not getting child support when maybe he does have money. Maybe that was a reaction to her just being called a and she's like, F this dude, he doesn't even have any money, he doesn't even pay me child support. Okay, well, is there a piece of paper that says he's supposed to pay you child support yet? Because you guys aren't even divorced. Because 2 seconds later, you're crying about, I just want to divorce and never see him again. Okay, is there a custody thing so you guys did the custody before the divorce? Because we haven't seen that story yet. So there's a good chance that this dude doesn't even have to pay her child support right now.
And I'm not even saying that that's a good look. I don't know. Like, if she's making, we want every man. I want men to pay for everything.
Listen, it's your kid. If your kid's gone because you and your girl can't figure it out, then help your kid out.
Yeah.
No matter how mad you're at with the girl, like.
But if they're both making the same amount, and she, which I have no idea what anybody makes, and they have 50-50 custody, I just don't know how that works. So I don't know if that was just like a sling, that she was just like throwing that in the heat of the moment.
I could have taken it wrong. I was just taking it as like, there's no money for anything, whether it's, paying the health insurance, child support, whatever. Like there's just, he's all show and no go.
Which is also like, you're on a show.
Yeah, but they're not Jesse lives a very expensive lifestyle. So his house has to be my guess is his rent is $15,000 a month.
Easily.
And then his car has to be at least $1,000 a month. And that's not including insurance. So let's say you're at like $1,200 a month. Then your health insurance minimum is $800 a month. Yep. So like that's just to get up, be insured for your health, your car, have a roof over your head, and have a car to drive.
That
doesn't include food. And this MFer's going to Erewhon, which is like the most expensive. It's like the Neiman Marcus of grocery stores. That like
wins.
Erwin's. Met at Erwin's trying the Hailey Bieber smoothie.
Did you see that?
Yes, it's the best. I'm at Erwin's.
The Halle Berry, the Hailey Bieber.
Yeah, the Halle Berry. That's what he said. There's a great influencer guy who's from New York, and he did this thing on the Halle Berry. Whatever. Point being is, that doesn't include his clothes, his nights out with the boys, his boys' lunches,
pink suede, pink capri, pink gloss. It looked like they were all very matchy.
Yeah, and he's getting like $150 haircut. He's not going to Fresh Cuts or Super Cuts or any cuts in the name. So I'm just saying, like, his monthly nut is a lot. So he's probably with the show, not even. He's probably making just enough to cover all of that, and then there's nothing left. That's all she wrote. Because he's doing like, I was just looking at his Instagram the other day. And he was doing some like men's skincare stuff. Like he's trying to
wheel and deal.
To get those endorsement deals.
Yeah.
So I just found it interesting because I didn't know that about him. And I was like, it's not that, I couldn't have called that, but I did find it interesting learning it. And I do believe it.
I find it interesting that neither of them have any money and don't work really anymore, or just don't get paid to work. They seem to go to meetings, but I don't know. Their entire story seems like absolute garbage to me. Like none of it makes sense. None of it connects. It's all fighting like the timelines and everything. Like it just all seems so off the wall that it feels deliberate, and which that is what makes my mind go wild of like, is this a whole thing for you guys? Like, are you guys doing this on purpose and talking behind the scenes and just confusing everyone to hold off for something? I don't know what they're doing.
If I were their friends, I would literally look at both of them, probably separately, because if you did this together, it would be World War III. And I would just say, maybe at some point you had fallen in love, maybe, or it was just great sex and we let it get out of control and decided to get married. You guys don't like each other. At the core of who the other person is, you don't like each other, at least right now. Sign the papers, split it up, walk away, get a custody agreement that's 50-50, because they both seem like they want 50-50 of everything. Don't ask for the art on the walls. Don't ask for the silverware. Don't ask for the dog different days of the week. Just get it 50-50 down the line and walk away from each other and live your dream life with your girlfriend who's from the OC. Live your dream life with Aaron from Runyan Canyon and his honey, and let it go, ho. Like, you're not doing anyone, specifically your little sweet baby child, any services by fighting this out. And I get it. It's so much easier said than done. But like, you just want to say to both of them, they're like a dog with a bone. Like, just let it go.
Yeah.
Sign the papers and walk away. And by the way, someone said that the chick allegedly that he dates, it was Jeremy Jackson or Jeremy Johnson from.
I should just Google it, but I still don't know. No, but somebody else said it was David Charvet.
Oh, I only saw, I think like two people in the comments had said it was the Jeremy guy. So maybe,
I saw that name too. And then I heard it elsewhere, but I don't know where.
Until it's proven, it's David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all I care about. She's banging David Hasselhoff. And
Man.
that makes the most sense, honestly.
No, the most sense is David Charvet.
And nobody even knows who David Charvet is.
He's the other guy.
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff is a
he was married
global
to Brooke,
phenomenon.
Whatever.
Yeah. He would
Exactly.
actually seem
Brooke,
like
whatever.
he would seem like he lives in Orange County now and is banging some Orange County socialites. I don't know. Allegedly.
Yes. Jeremy Jackson also makes sense to me, but I used to wait on him and he was really nice. I feel like if you saw his face, you'd
I'm
know.
sure I would. Like I said, I just needed to look it up.
Anyway.
Okay, so about.
If anybody's watching us from Minnesota right now, congratulations, mother.
Well, he didn't mean to say the last part.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I would never say that, but now we have audience that we care about, and someone might be from Minnesota. So we can go back to the show.
You both played a great game and I didn't watch it, but just know everyone tried so hard.
I just hate that. I look at it really well. He'll do it. He'll do it next year.
Like, they made the playoffs. Dallas didn't.
Oh.
Sorry for anybody from Dallas watching us, but honestly,
No, even people
Yeah.
from Dallas are
Yeah.
probably feeling the same way. They
Oh,
want
they
the best
probably
for
are.
Luca and Luca to get his, but that might not extend to next year. So
probably not. Yeah, that's like
they
a
gave him-
3-month plan.
Yeah, they gave him a 3 months.
You got 3-month warranty, and then you're out.
Yeah, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to say about this whole thing. It's just another example to me of Michelle just reminding us that like how things happen, how that these two people have both created the levels that they've gotten to. And I've said that from literally the second that I watched that I saw them on screen, and nothing has been shown to me to prove otherwise. It might get there at some point, but we'll get into that. So when Brittany brings up the billionaire thing, and Michelle is immediately devastated and just can't believe it. And she's crying and is just like talking, I can't do this anymore. I'm so frustrated. I can't win. This guy's the worst guy on earth. I just would never want to see him again. All those things. First of all, when Danny comes over, I have such a hard time with this because like Danny, when they ask him about it and he's on the spot, his facial expressions, the timing, that like his beats that he let go, his eye movement, like all the things, like so believable that like he did not expect this to be happening.
Dude, you want to know what my note is?
What?
If you ever are curious what it looks like when someone's life is flashing before their eyes, watch that scene, because that's what's happening.
It's just that it is really hard for me to be a person who lives in reality and has like not even just like, oh, I've worked in TV, I know how this works. Just common sense that this guy just had this conversation. Like, I understand that it's probably not the same day, could have been the same week, within the same probably week span. He said what he said on camera. It wasn't like someone told us about it. I heard, I saw this in the group text that maybe so-and-so read that you like. He said it very clearly with no shame, no hesitation in a room where at minimum, there's 2 camera guys and very likely a sound guy and a producer. If they're not there, they're in a truck right outside watching it all on screen with headphones on. Like that is the bare minimum of the people that witness this conversation.
And 3 kids.
And 3 kids.
We're just doing a full count.
Yeah, no, totally. And I'm sure they've got one of those houses where there's like Ring cameras everywhere. You know, like I take them to be that family. So either way, this is great. It's either we witness what you just said, which is like such a raw moment of like watching. If you have ever wondered what it's like for someone's life to flash before their eyes, here it is. Or Danny Bucco is a great actor that you have all been sleeping on. I'm just saying, you don't think like you're not taking anything I'm saying into consideration. Like, how are you that shocked when you just said that on camera on the show that you're on?
Because the realization, like, you can say that shit on camera, having a conversation about how mean they are. Maybe Danny's someone who gullibly would think that they're never going to use that. Or like, maybe he could like say, oh, hey, don't use that language, whatever. Like, that aside, like, yeah, he said it on camera, the fucking picked it up, the audio, all that. He might not have been ready. Like, he said it to Luke. I don't think he expected Luke to go say anything, right? That quickly, probably. And he also, like, it doesn't matter, dude. If you do some dumb shit, you're not thinking like, oh, I'm going to get caught for this. You might be like, I'll get caught for this later. But when that time comes, no matter when it comes, it's like, ooh, dude. And that, what he was processing was not, oh, shit, I can't believe it got out. That's not what he was, he had already got. He knew it. He said it on camera. That's not, he knew that was happening. What he was now processing was, these dudes just let me back into this group chat.
Back in? I mean? He had gotten kicked out and let back in?
I mean, it seemed like it. I don't know if he got kicked out, but like Jesse said, like, this dude just rolled back into our group chat a few months ago. And right after he did, all this shit about Jack starts, because that was the mole thing, right? So I don't know if he left the group chat, got kicked out of the group chat, whatever. He got back in the group chat with this magic rule of like, don't say shit, dude, especially to some mother from out of town who hates LA and isn't even in the group chat. What his face was not, oh man, I can't believe it was the realization of what's going to happen. That dude might get his ass kicked. Like, maybe, like, he's probably not, because he's a bit like, if he wasn't on a TV show, somebody's punching that dude. 30 dudes, 20 dudes, somebody's going to punch him.
Danny or Luke?
Danny.
Because
he's the one that spilled the beans. So, like, that's what he was going through, was like, I was in with the boys, and now I sold my shit. I'm not a girl now. Like, he just, and I'm not trying to be sexist. He just, like, I think that it was the realization of, because he even said it afterward. Luke's like, man, I'm sorry. I just had to tell Brittany, have I overstayed my welcome now? And he's like, oh, it's about to get really real right now. And he's talking about, then he had to go tell Jesse. And you could see Jesse just be like, the look on his face too was a little bit like, I knew you were the mole, but it was also like, bro, you're And that was the realization, was a real life, oh, I just pissed off 20 dudes. Even his wife knew it when he was like, put it in. And she was like, bro, you fucking said it. You said it. And now you're going to have to deal with it. And Luke comes over and he's like, oh, I know what's going on. And she turns around and she's like, a little space right now.
Okay.
Leave.
You make an excellent, like, storied argument. Like, I can visualize all of that. I am on the fence until I remember that you just said it on camera with people. And like, you obviously didn't care that much. Like, if you either thought it was going to come out today or in a few months or whenever, at some point. You're saying it to Luke. Luke and Kristen are thick as thieves right now. They're in that honeymoon stage. Like, I think it was a very stupid move. And maybe Danny is that stupid. And so that's something too. But like, it's really hard to buy that anybody would have that kind of a conversation so blatant and had no issue saying it. And wasn't like, bro, do not say shit. But like, and just like, was like,
well, listen,
or whatever.
We don't know what got cut out. Like I said, it's my belief that they were having a conversation about how mean they are to each other, right?
Why do you think that?
If you watch it again, it just seems that way. Like he says that thing and he does kind of go, and he lowers his voice and he leans in. Like, I don't think he's like, oh, maybe they won't pick up this microphone that's right here. But he does, she says that Jesse said in the group chat. And then, like, he does make a point to be quiet about it. And then after that, he says something along the lines of, I don't know with these two. It's getting really bad. Or something like that, where I was like, oh, you guys are having a conversation about how mean they're being to each other and how, like, this is such a shitty divorce. And, like, how come these two people... Again, I don't know that for sure. That's the vibe I got afterwards. And so he very well, that whole part was edited out, if it's true. He very well could have been like, you don't say shit, but I heard in the group chat. And they're like, okay, take out the I heard and just go straight into the group chat, but or not the I heard, take out the don't say shit and just start at I heard and let's blow this shit.
The only thing that did cross my mind is that Danny and Luke, like, don't know each other all that well. Like, they're not like super close or whatever. And the only thing that did cross my mind is that there's like Luke's coming over to help you with Luke's coming over. Okay. Like, and they're going to, okay, let's,
listen,
okay.
The whole thing
not
was
very
dumb.
close. And then there was an awkward moment
face.
of like, it's just sort of like they don't know each other that well. And it was like Danny could have found himself just like in an awkward, like, just kind of saying something to like fill space and not really thinking it through. That's like the best I can. That's really the best I can do. Every other thing about this is like to believe everything, like your entire story. It also would seem to be linked to that, like this was really a story that Jesse told very specifically as the to try to snuff out a mole, which like I thought that was like such a convenient cover for just Jesse just mouthing off and then having a reason.
Again, like, I don't think they were trying to sniff out a mole. They were trying to sniff out Danny as the mole. Like, yes, but like he said, we're trying to sniff out a mole. And then he said it. We thought, they thought it was him. He was one of the options. And when he said it, I know I'm not the mole. I know this guy's not the mole. I'm not so sure about this guy.
It's like, but you have 30 guys in the group chat. And then also all the women in the after show say like, we all read the group, the men's chat. Like every one of us has either our husband show it to us. Listen. They tell us about it. Both two sets of couples said like our phones are set to where they can open my phone and I can open their phones. Like that like this is not a top secret classified event that's taking place every day, that it's just like it's almost like silly that anybody would think that any of it. Like, did you get that vibe that like it was like this is just none of this is secret? To pretend it's a secret is like laughable. So that's why I don't know, none of it, just like snuffing out a mole and then saying it in front of cameras and then acting shocked when it comes to 5 minutes later from Luke, the one guy that is still in the literal honeymoon phase of, well, not literal, but as close as one can get. They're not even like getting engaged soon. So it's even better than honeymoon.
Listen, we all know I'm the most gullible on this show. So the way I took it was just, when you say something and you said it, like the cameras were there, the whole thing, and even if in your own life, if cameras aren't there, but then when it actually gets brought up in front of the people that it was involving, and you knew you ran that risk saying it, it's like, oh, hello, this is awkward. I wish I knew you a little bit better. It's like, we do the show, right?
That level though, like you'd be like, okay, all right. Not like deer in headlights, life flashing before your eyes. Like that's what that looked like.
But
How you
here's the
described it is
thing.
exactly what it looked like. That is really hard to believe that like that takes place when you just had that conversation on production of your show with camera people in the
I
room.
just think Danny's like not this confrontational guy. Like Jax, there's a fight there. It's like a shark smelling blood in the water, right? He's like, put me in the game, coach. I got this. He likes all that stuff. I just don't think that that's Danny's disposition. So I feel like when it got brought up, he's just like, oh God, I'm going to poop my pants. Like he's just like, I need to go talk to my pastor about this. I just feel like he's so... oh, shucks. And he's never really been in this kind of situation where he said something. Now, like it's the people that he said it about, they're right there. And not only did all of this happen, it's happening with cameras there, because last season, none of this stuff kind of happened.
I'll give you another option, because no one on planet Earth except Danny thinks that Danny's that good of an actor. Like that was real. What happened was real. He did not perform that. I'll give you another option, though, that's not my option, but it could very true. Because I thought this earlier, or I watched it again today before I left work. And I was like, I wonder if there's a producer in that group chat. A good producer would get in that group chat, would befriend one of these dudes to the point where he's in the group chat, or she. Well, it's a dude, so assumingly it's probably right.
It's just Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah, totally. But like,
she'd be the only producer that could shimmy her way into the
100%.
men's
Totally.
chat. She
so
always
like,
just a boys girl,
I thought about that for half a second. I was like, a good producer would weasel their way into that group chat. And if that happened, and they convinced Danny, like, hey, man, you've kind of been complaining about the kids a lot. There's not a lot going on. You got this, what, like, you want to spice some shit up? You want to buy this house out in Santa Clarita, motherfucker? Tell them about that thing Jesse said. Oh, bro, I don't know. That's not really my kind of jam on this role, on this show. I'm telling you, and he does it. It blows up in his face. His wife is sitting right there. She's the one being like, you said that? And now he's like, I should have never done that. This is not my jet. This is not who I am. My wife's looking at me like I'm a piece of shit now. Like, again, just an option, because I don't think he acted that. That face was 100.
I can get with all
that face was 100 too.
The other thing that I was kind of surprised at was that Nia would throw him under the bus so quickly and be like, come over here, without even sending like a warning shot of like, you're walking into it right now, FYI.
But she said it right after, and he was like, "Oh God," and she was like, "What, dude? You said it." Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but
dude.
Mike, I would never do that to you. And if Nia did that, thank you for showing up, doing your job, doing the damn thing.
If I said some stupid shit, you would never, and then I got caught, you wouldn't be like, "You said it, dude. You got to deal with it now." You wouldn't say that to me?
No.
Really?
No, we're a unit. I would not put you in the lion's mouth, like just like
I don't think you would sell me out, but like if it had already happened, and like I don't think you would probably do it at dinner, but like I think if I was kind of whining about it, at some point you would be like, "Bro, I'm with you," but like you said that.
I would
shit.
send like the text I would send to you would say, you need to come, like you said something, you need to come over here, just get ready. They get ready. Like I would, and the look on his face was that he didn't even have a get ready included in there. Okay. I don't know. You could be totally right. I still find it next to unbelievable to know that somebody has that conversation on camera and then looks like a deer in headlights. I'm sorry, I can't. those two things just like don't like they don't make any sense to me. But all of just like the but if, sure. So Michelle gets very like she's devastated at this. She can't believe it. She's so frustrated and all the things. I don't know, like out of nowhere, aside from like a 3-minute pep talk from Aaron, who basically just says, "Why do you care? Who cares?" She then puts on a game face and is like, okay, goes to like decides that she's going to get Jesse basically exiled from the house.
Not the house. His vacation
trip
house.
that he planned.
Yeah.
And she's all smiles, like nothing's happened. Like she's like just like a whole new girl. Goes to Brittany first. You're gonna go to your yeses first.
Yes.
Before you get to your swing votes, because you want to be able to say, I got A, B, and C with me. Can we count on your vote? So she goes to Brittany, obvious yes. She goes to Janet, who doesn't give a shit about Jesse and is in the middle of some game.
Yeah,
so she's just like, yeah, great, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Can you move? You're blocking my
I gotta
side.
get back to whack-a-mole.
And I got a victory dance to learn. I gotta perform that in 2 seconds because I'm definitely winning all of this. Janet's like the ultimate tourist. She's like, everywhere she goes, it's like she's a tourist. It's like she researched it all to see like what are the fun things to do here. What do I want to be able to come home and say I did this and that. Like I feel like she treats the grocery store in that same way. That's for another day. So after that, then she goes to Beauty Queen because Beauty Queen's the next like sweetest girl who might be bendable, and then Jasmine's with her. Jasmine who is a self-proclaimed, tells the dudes, sorry, I'm not on y'all's team right now. And she changes her pitch to them a little bit. She says, I want to move forward. I just want to have fun. And like this guy is in the house, I'm uncomfortable with that. Like, so Beauty Queen gets it. Donald Trump used to walk through her pageant dressing rooms. She gets that. She's told a couple of people that she's going to jujitsu him, taekwondo him right into the ground if they try any of that stuff. And then Jasmine is not a dude's girl right now in so many words. Beauty Queen is instantly like, you could tell that she's just like uncomfortable, like being put on the spot. And then Jasmine straight up is like, I don't think it's his
like,
place.
I'm not trying to get kicked out of the vacation house.
Yeah. But then even right after that, she says, look, to be honest, okay, Kristen joins in kind of and bashes the Black Panther Party, like right there, like it's not happening. Because she's just going to come in and say what she has to say. So anybody who's on the fence and wanted to say no to it, they're going to be able to now because Kristen's there to, remind everyone that this is his trip. I understand that production probably pays for this trip, but like everybody gets assigned a thing that they get to plan and be in charge of. And
this was his,
this was his thing. And then I think Kristen jumped in on that and is like half planning it too. So we don't think it's the right thing to banish the guy whose trip this is. And also Jasmine even goes even harder after that. And she goes, to be honest with you, Jesse and I have a really great relationship right now. And I don't want him to not be in the house. And I don't think that this is the first time I've ever gone, is there something to, because I just don't know Jasmine, like is Jasmine, would Jasmine ever lie and say she's had a connection with someone she doesn't like have one with? Like to say has a really great relationship with Jesse right now and she doesn't want him gone from the house. Like that was the first. Like I said, nothing's keeping me up at night. I'm up already. But I'm thinking that's the first time I've ever had to think, like, is Jesse have something to offer aside from just like pure gross entertainment that I'm enjoying. Anyhow, she just starts crying again after that, goes off and is like, I can't, like, she tried to stage a coup in on a whim, no preparation.
Totally.
I feel like Jesse is the kind of guy that meditates on like the demise of someone. Like it's straight up 6 months of like concocting the imminent implosion of your life, where it just I just to what you said before, if you're gonna shoot, you can't miss. And she was just not prepared for this. And then so she's now crying again, not because of so devastated she's been called a streetwalker by this dude in a group text, but because she couldn't win. She couldn't win the game. She couldn't, like, her plan didn't work or whatever. And I just think she just keeps showing these weird little moments that it's like, you're playing these games too. Like, this is whatever. I've said and I'll say it 100 times more. If she keeps doing little things like this, where I'm just like, I don't know what Michelle truly wants.
No, 100%. That was a bad look, and this is why I said earlier, if I were friends of the both of them, I would just be like, let it go, drop the bone.
Yeah.
Like, it's neither one of you look good. No one. You're both trying to win at a losing game.
Yeah, but I don't think Jesse thinks that he's looking bad. I think Michelle has more sense than him to know this is not.
Oh, and I don't give a shit.
Like,
whether
Jesse's so
either person can
delusional that
see it.
he's like, I win again. Even though we're looking at him being like,
No, I'm not saying that he can see it or not. I'm saying what I would say to them.
Yeah,
Like, you guys, this is a bad look. Just stop. Full stop.
I think that Jesse might. There's two things that have given me reason to think that, like, they're going to
even
she's going to rebalance. One was the poll on are you team Jesse or team Michelle? Of course, it's Bravo. So there's team Jesse wins on the Bravo poll. Team Jesse wins. And it was when Brittany was there and she says, give it a couple more episodes. This whole thing's going to flip around. She says something like, I think this is going to change in one or two more episodes. So that happens. And then either it was her or Kristen in, like, the after show or something else that says, I think in retrospect, Jesse wishes he would have stayed at a hotel. So I have a feeling Jesse is going to overplay his hand in the very soon.
Well, that is as the sun will rise tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jesse will always overplay his hand. He's just that guy.
Yeah, but he's making it through a chunk of episodes with, like,
he's making it through 3
the fact
episodes.
That he's getting a women-dominated network by, like, 90% viewers. Over 90% of viewers are women. To say that they're team Jesse, you got to really I would say you got to really be unlikable. No, you just have to be a woman. But also, Michelle's not doing herself any favors.
And I think also that it's like Paige. If there's even a strong hint that you cheated, there's not a lot of people that are going to be on your team until we all find out that you didn't.
Or until we all find out that he did too.
And even if you find out you didn't, like, the fact that the rumor that you did was so strong to carry a half a season of a show.
Yeah, what'd you do to cause yourself
like, I hate to be that guy, but, like,
no, it's just calling a network a network.
Yeah, like
a spade a spade.
Yeah,
a network.
Don't be, maybe you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe not.
Yeah.
So I think there's that, like, people don't like getting cheated on.
Yeah.
Comments?
Yeah. Hold on. Can I just add one last thing?
Always.
The thing that Kristen said in her interview about Michelle, like, oh, if you're making that kind of money, a nice hotel shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like, that was a fucked up thing to say.
Well, because she's team Jesse.
It was just as up that, like, it was.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what she said it because she is team Jesse.
Fine. It was like, but we talk about Andy loves her. There must be something about. There's not, dude.
Okay.
There's not.
No, that comment wasn't that at the time of, because it wasn't like in the after show, right?
No, it was one of her interviews.
Okay, like I said earlier. And like, it's debatable because, yes, Kristen has minced her words before. So, like, I'm not saying that I know that Kristen 100% is telling the truth. My vibe is that Kristen is telling the truth about what Michelle told her about getting involved with someone while she was still married. My thing that I don't know is the timing of it. If they were about to get divorced, if she already had a lease on another apartment, it would seem to me that Jesse would know that and would know that, like, they are while still technically together and residing for the most part in the same house, if you've got if Jesse knew about this other apartment, like, then you know your wife's leaving you. So like, whether he like 10-4'd it and like a stamp of approval on the situation, it would seem to me that he would know that this was happening, and like it was what it was. Like, they're getting split, she's moving out and she's seeing someone else already, and whatever. So that's the murky part to me. But I believe that Kristen is telling the truth in all the things that were told to her. And then so for Michelle to deny it all, if I'm Kristen, I would be like, well, she's denying everything. And I know for a fact, she told me, we talked about it all the time. This is during a time period we were very close. So for her to make that comment, it's snarky and it's rude and whatever, but they're not friends right now. And there's not and I think it was an obvious snarky joke. Like, she was like, oh, like, it was just like a stupid joke.
Also kind of the worst, like a girl calling another girl a whore.
A girl saying she's lied about many other things.
Yeah, all right.
It's like when Kristen talks about Zach and Janet's beef about where that Zach said that thing, like, I don't care if your baby makes it to term or whatever. Kristen just said it in such a way, and it also just reminds me of like why Kristen and Zach are friends. They're like, I compare them to Paige and Hannah, their friendship, but not at all like that. But like in the friendship where like two people get each other so much that like they can be whoever they are to each other, and there really there's no bounds on it. Like, we get it. You don't even need to speak. We're translating through our eyes across the room. Like, there's just relationships like that. They've got one of those.
They speak each other's language.
And so Kristen just was like, I'm sorry. Yes. Like, those words, not great words. No, not great thing to say. These two are mortal enemies. There's no, oh, I can say this, but I can't say that. Like, they hate each other. Why wouldn't he say that? And in the context that it was, he was just trying to say whatever he wanted. He was very frustrated. And then Michelle tries to go, if you say that, she could. He goes, I don't care.
That's exactly right. That's how he meant it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about that.
Yeah. It's Erica Jane. What about the kids? I don't care. I'm losing everything.
Yes.
What do you want from me? Like, my whole life is falling apart. Great. So sorry. Horrible things. I didn't do, like, whatever. Like, all those things, like those kinds of outbursts. Like, I don't take the words at like face value of like.
No, he was not literally saying, like, I don't care if she delivers a stillborn child. He was just like, I don't care what you're talking about. I'm irritated about what we were just discussing.
Yeah. So I'm taking that Kristen comment said as just a snarky, tacky comment. Yeah. But like, they're not friends, and Michelle has not copped to anything that Kristen said that she said. So why would she now?
Okay, great. Kemi R12 Productions. She said the timestamp was 29:49, which was when I was like, does this guy wind anyone else the beep up?
Yes.
Referencing Jesse. And she was like, yes, Jesse winds me the beep up. And even if it's just me and you, Kemi, thank you for seeing me. I take great comfort in you and I in the grudgery with Jesse.
Nettie says, Michelle was crying but still struggling to smile. It's not as easy as she'd hoped it would be. She needs to lawyer up. She shouldn't put this whole divorce on her own shoulders. She needs a shark. Dude, it would be so glorious to see Jesse get an email of a change of representation, and it just be like whoever. Who's that one? Who's the lady
Laura
that
Wasser.
does Laura Wasser? Change of representation. Hi, I'm Laura Wasser. I'll be handling this from here. Thank you.
She has to pick up a couple more billionaires to afford Laura Wasser.
Yeah, she is no joke.
Listen, I'm just saying Laura Wasser could see the show
Laura
and be
Wasser,
like,
you don't get Laura Wasser with honey money.
well, you might get a Laura Wasser type if you're a fan of the Bravo shows and you're watching this all play out. Listen, that happens. Some of the most powerful people are the biggest Bravo watchers because they need a brain link.
Yeah. I love a brain link.
Yeah, but they're not powerful people because they represent Bravo idiots.
Okay, they're
That's
not
how they
idiots. We love them.
Relax.
Coca, whose name is actually Christina Coca, and I only know this because we were DMing on Instagram, She has an amazing IG handle, and she had found us on YouTube and posted about us to like 86,000 people on Instagram. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And she just said the sweetest thing. And I just wanted to give her a shout out. She said, I cannot stress enough how much I appreciate the depth and nuance you guys bring to these conversations. So glad I found you. And we are so glad you found us. And honestly, I really love that, like, we get to pull this stuff apart and people are like, yes, I want to hear the minutia of it, because that's what I live for. So it's just so cool that other people.
Do you know that I followed her sight unseen? Like, had no idea. I followed her on TikTok. Had no idea that that person was that person.
No
This was just like
way!
within the last week. And I think it's because, you know, your phone is like everything.
Everything's tracked.
Because it was just like kept coming up in my feed. Like, and I hadn't seen it before. So I was just like, that's funny. And so I just followed it and then put the photo together with the Instagram, and then was like, that's
yeah. And she does great deep dives on Bravo stuff.
yeah,
and like
which is
smaller
why
snippets.
I followed her, because that's why I didn't know who it was, because she's just Christina on TikTok, not the handle that I had been seeing on YouTube or Instagram. It was crazy.
She's doing a great deep dive on Jax right now.
Yeah.
Her handle on Instagram is Coca MA. So Coca Macoca, but COCCAMACOCCA. And she's got some real good tidbits on her Bravo peeps.
Yeah. That kind of just you doing all that work to amass that kind of following and then putting us on your story, like, might have seemed like nothing to you. Like, we don't do any advertising. I don't even have time to cut stories. Like, I really want to, and it just hasn't happened. That was just such a good deed. Thank you so much. And just know that if you saw that I followed you, I didn't even know. I just love your work. And that is, I don't know. That's just crazy to me that you would do something so incredibly sweet. Thank you so much.
And get that highlighter, girl. So many people asked about the highlighter that I had on my cheeks.
Like, highlighter.
So anyway, we were talking about highlighters.
What highlighter is it?
Oh my God. So all of my beauty stuff I get in like gift bags, because my
highlighter is from a gift bag that you got, the KMS or RMS or whatever that is.
Exactly. Yeah. And this one, sometimes you just get the biggest wins. It's from Anastasia, you know, the brow chick. She has great makeup. That's our lip liner.
Yeah, I have some eye stuff.
Yeah. And she came out with just like a really incredible highlighter. It's called Glow Getter. And cute name. In a little white compact. You will have this thing for the rest of your life because it lasts forever. And every time I just kind of dust it around my face and on my cheekbones. And a few people were like, what is that on your cheeks? And it's great.
Getter.
It's Glow Getter.
Glow Get.
Anyway. Lola Broadhead said, I train people how to deal with coercive ex-partners. I think Michelle has had training.
Yeah. I hope she gets more because you're going to need all of it.
Maggie McNaughton, 9083, said, this had me, this was an LOL for me. Jax might be able to get clean, but would need a lobotomy to change his personality. And it really is like what we were talking about last week. I don't know if there's some things that just might be, that's who you is, you are who you are. Like, it just might be who he is. Like, yes, of course, we hope he gets sober and we wish the best for him on that journey. But like, you could be sober and still just be a jerk off.
Because of the kind of like backlash, actually, you know what? This kind of goes with a comment. So let me just find it. It's from Meteor Wine. That scene between Britt and Jax was textbook display of malignant narcissism. It was hard to watch and not classic reality cringe. I do think Bravo Broadcasting, this particular story is bordering on exploitation. It will be interesting to see Jack's arc. I feel like there's been a lot of backlash in a lot of comment sections across the United States that are all saying that like this is crazy to watch this, and why are you still employing Jax Taylor? Like, if Jax is a massive drug addict, a massive narcissist, is doing things to physically harm people, which she Brittany was on a different podcast. I can never remember the names, but I've seen it a million times, so I should. But she was saying, they asked her if that was the first time, and she was like, no. Like, it's if that's been happening for however long, like those kinds of like rage, whatever. And I don't know. It's Brittany's story. I have no idea. But I also saw something, and I didn't check on this. So if anyone's like, oh, I saw that was a fake account, whatever. But Jax has a tour, just like every other podcaster has. He's got tour dates, and someone posted a thing that people are starting to back out of the tour dates. Like his tour is quietly being canceled. But I don't know if that's like as a whole, or just like a couple spots have backed out and been like, we're not going to actually have that show here. Best of luck in finding another venue or whatever. But I'm just wondering, like, is he going to be able to continue on the show? Can Bravo let someone who everyone is convinced has a pattern of horribleness continue on the payroll?
And by the way, the show would still thrive without him.
They have enough
they don't need him.
I think that Jax's stuff is so weird that is almost a distraction from the stuff that is actually like meaty. And
it's almost discordant to like the regular kooky stuff that's happening, because it's so dark and so
just lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. Like, how long do you just like let a guy keep lying to the screen a million times over? And
that, and I just think it's like it's violence, not the right word, even though obviously there have been moments of violence. It is very like manic. That's what it is.
Yeah. Very manic.
It's very manic, and it's so wildly unhealthy that I think he can come back. And if he steps out of line at all, they're just going to be like, you're done, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we can't back this.
Yeah.
Nor should they.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see in the next year or two how many networks get rid of narcissistic and like bad cast members that they've made so much money on for so long. But now that there's no money in TV because it's all on the internet and social media and whatever, now they're going to get rid of Jax. Now they're going to get rid of James Kennedy. Now they're going to get rid of all these piece of shit, wife beating, alcoholic, drug addict losers that, listen, guilty. We've all watched them. We all tuned in every week. I'm sure there's a handful of you that, oh, I didn't, or like, I don't even mean to say that snarky. Like there's, I can't remember who said that was like, I will not be giving a dime to these sons of bitches. And listen.
It was Pat Clark.
Was it?
Yeah.
Like, Pat, you're better than us. And you're right. You're right. But we continue to put money in Bravo's pocket and Jax's pocket and James Kennedy's pocket. And that's teaching them a behavior that, like, that's fine, bro. That's not only fine, you can get paid for it. We love it. We're here for it. We're going to scream about how bad it is, but we're going to watch you do it. So, like, again, now that there's no money in TV and all the advertisers are like, well, sorry, dude, nobody watches TV. We're over on Instagram and TikTok.
Where there's comment boxes.
Good luck to you.
So you get an immediate,
exactly.
I don't like this guy. This guy's horrible. Why are you airing this guy? Over and over and over again. Bravo, what are you doing? Hello, Bravo. Why are you like, just, you can't miss it. Like it's just scrolling underneath you, like while you're watching these shows.
So I figure you'll see a lot of networks taking the high ground to get rid of this trash on TV now when they can't afford it. It's going to work out perfect for them.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Joe Schmo B said, why not save a divorce for the show? That way, at least you can make some money to pay for your child's education, plus makes for a messy storyline, and possibly not have to pay any alimony or less. Just a thought. And I know obviously Joe Schmo's kidding, but the crux of it is like, listen, I don't know if I couldn't see myself being on reality TV. But if you know you're headed into a divorce and it's going to cost you all this money and it's going to be a mess either way because you're already now someone who's kind of in the public eye, I feel like I would probably just be like, do it. At least it'll pay for the divorce.
That's what I think. That's what that is why I have such a hard time with Jesse and Michelle's story and believing that like they're not deliberately holding back key points from us because they have come to some sort of agreement that they are letting some amount of things play out, not addressing certain things, keeping some things murky, going hard on something that has no evidence that's just they're going to just disprove within a couple episodes or just knock out completely on one episode, like the billionaire comment. Like it's just creating story to avoid other story. Like, because why wouldn't you? If you're getting a divorce already and then you're approached by a network and you're both in businesses that like this is the platform of a lifetime to get that business to completely take off if you play your cards right. That is, listen, I go on a lot of tangents about like calling things fake. I don't believe that. Oh, that's totally like, I have those conspiracies all the time. This is just one of those ones that it's like it's the same thing with JT and Vanita, where we're just like, I'm trying to put these things together, but like there is no piece C. The C puzzle piece is not here. I've spent days, weeks, whatever, looking for it. It doesn't exist because you're dragging me around. That is the same vibe I get from the story between these two. Yes, so much of it is real and horrible and all the things, but like at a certain point, like we all have the one question: what did Jesse know? When did he know it? You know? And if you're not going to tell us, then like you're going out of your way not to. So yeah, I would be totally on board with all of that, except it's just weird that Cruz is going to have to be in the middle and get
Isabella.
something dragged out. Cruz and Isabella. Yeah.
Sorry.
Just because we were talking in the comment was, I think, about Brittany and Jax, or was it about Jesse and, I don't know. Either way, dragging the divorces out for money, I'm all on board with.
Yeah.
And then you see these littles crawling around.
That one was about the lollies.
Oh, okay. So the sentiment remains for both of these couples. It's if they didn't have the littles, I would care so much less about so much of it and just be so much more into the entertainment of it.
I was trying to think of who, and it's right here in front of my face. Patty Moreno said something similar. I think that Jesse and Michelle were on the outs and the Valley came up. Wait, did you just read that?
Nope.
No. The Valley came up and Jesse possibly used it as an opportunity to see if they could get back together, and it didn't work out and made it worse. So not the same, but similar, like using the show to achieve an means to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of comments about Zach's hair. Trademark hair, Lego head.
Oh yeah, someone said he will be Lego head for life.
Yeah.
I love that Truth for Peace for Freedom says, can we normalize breakfast casserole?
Yeah. I told her I was going to look up some recipes and come up with a breakfast casserole, and then we have to try it on the show.
Oh, okay.
She said it and
What does
somebody
that
else
mean?
said, Leah Armstrong says, y'all are so wrong. A good casserole can change your life.
Yeah.
Listen, it's going to be a tough sell, but I'll be open as long as there's no meat in it.
I'm going to make some full meat casseroles.
Oh, okay.
Some Connor's Carnivore Diet Casserole. You're going to love it.
Okay, I won't be able to try it.
I love that. Dude, now I want a restaurant called Carnivores.
Oh, great.
Oh, man. Any restaurateurs out there, hit me up. All meat, no veggies.
Trisha S. Vader. Wow, Jason does look like Tiger. Brittany is not the country bumpkin everyone thinks she is, regardless if it's true about Janet or not the motive. Nat, you described it spot on. Thank you. I have always wavered on Kristen. She is self-proclaimed empath. Maybe that's why Jax was in the Navy. Oh, wait, maybe that's why. Jax was in the Navy. Some say 4 years, others say 37 days. I guess we pick, LOL. Zach will always be Lego man to me. Agree with Mike. Brittany should not have been with someone in the friend group. Michelle looks to me, she is intentionally trying to make Jesse look bad on camera. Their little girl should have the same nanny always. Agree with Nat 100%. Michelle should not be using their child as a bargaining tool. They are both doing it, but I expect more from mothers because I do, and I'm sorry for that. I really apologize for that, but I cannot help it. Nat has more. I read this whole thing through. This really sounds like self-promotion here.
I'm here for it. Go for it, girl.
This was really cut and pasted for the Lego hair comment because I just thought that was funny. Nat has these two nailed to perfection, in my opinion. Agree, Michelle cheated 100%. Never heard they were on a break. I think I may have jumped the gun and commented on season 2, episode 2. On the last showcast. Oops, didn't Jax go away to a mental institution and that's when he came back and said he was bipolar, separate from the addiction issue, or am I way off on that? I don't know. I think that Jax comes back with a new self-diagnosis, whatever's hot, the new trending hot mental thing every week, whatever might garner acceptance, sympathy, more money, a longer deal, a better contract, like whatever. What's in it for Jax? He'll say he's got it. He's got no dignity and no self-respect and
no bottom.
and
Dude,
no
Jack said
bottom.
he was going bald to get his hair product. Now he's getting into that pharma money. That's all Jax is doing. He's no dummy.
True.
He's like, let me get some of that. That's the only money that's left in TV is pharma money. Jax is like, yeah, I can. What do you need? What are you trying to hawk right now? I got that.
Dude, that's true. Paige has been talking so much about beta blockers that like I'm like ready to call my psychologist and my psychiatrist and see what are these beta blockers I've heard so much
just help
tell
like
of.
calm you down. Like a lot of actors take them before auditions and
Don't
stuff.
put
Totally,
this
but
in
I bet
there.
you psychiatrists across the country are getting calls and hearing the word beta blockers because of like what it's been described as. I always thought it was like a Xanax, and it's
No.
It is kind of.
she says it's totally not. She says all it does is calm your heart rate.
Yeah, like
Okay, so yeah.
I just wonder how many prescriptions were written for beta blockers this week.
it's
after
not
we've heard
like
it.
yes.
That's Oh my goodness. This was, I mean, the last line is a freaking bumper sticker. So, but I'll read the whole thing. Wellness Bum says, can we talk about how so many of these people in broken marriages are diving straight into dating like it's a sprint? As someone who's been through a divorce, I'll say it. No matter who ends it, divorce is a traumatic life event. It requires real inner work. You don't just walk out of a marriage and suddenly become emotionally available. Jumping into something new without healing, that's just dragging your baggage into someone else's world. And let's be real, if kids are involved, the priority should be working on being great co-parents. Jax, Brittany, and Jesse and Michelle owe their kids emotional stability, not a front row seat to their toxic relationship drama. Dating can wait. Therapy, accountability, self-awareness, that should be the focus. Otherwise, it's just a messy cycle of pain, projection, and more broken dynamics. Rinse, repeat. Sit with your shit before trying to share your life with someone else. And here it is. Healing isn't a trend. It is a responsibility.
I thought that was so good.
Like I have goosebumps just reading that last line.
drop.
Like how often, how many people are healing? I'm still healing. Oh, I have to heal from that. I'm still in the process. Like,
Yeah, no, totally. And that is why Janet got the ding, ding, ding light for moments like that.
Yeah. Agreed.
I thought that was the cheesiest shit ever until now I see there's
Yeah, I know.
Now we got to get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
there it would be. So Wellness Bum. She seems to know her shit about wellness. So
Here
look her
for
up. Literal Red. Hi guys. Michelle and Jesse is the new version of the War of the Roses movie. I agree with Natalie. Michelle is playing for cameras. Jesse is too played. They are playing chess on the show. I was a single parent when I got my divorce. I didn't think about another man. I didn't want a man. So I think Michelle had her guy in the background for a long time. So that's why I'm still a little more on Jesse's side. Natalie, my father was the same. Name and character mean a lot. Can't stand a liar. Allegedly, they reshot Jax going into rehab. Anyone trying to love bomb me, I would be asking, what is your con? Brittany should take her time to get to know what she wants out of life before getting another man. Once again, agree with Natalie. Brittany, I really am not picking these.
Clearly.
I just want you to see. I have so many because I didn't know what anybody was going to read, so I pretty much pasted them all here. Okay.
But you're only reading the ones that praise you.
Nope. Pretty much going one by one.
Mm-hmm. So now you're just saying that everyone's praising you?
I mean, I don't just say it. I'm just reading it. It was on the page.
Technically, she didn't say it. You just said it.
Yeah, this is a cut and paste, not like a translate into my own words.
This seems like a Craig translator.
Brittany is not all innocent here. She should have gotten out long ago. Thanks to the recap, it's been raining all week here, and the dogs are getting cabin fever. So cute.
You're so cute. Tease.
Rebecca Krakow says, did you notice how Cruz was not excited to see Jax? He seemed very apprehensive. This baby has seen and heard too much. Jax, wake up. Your son doesn't even want to greet you. He's afraid of you. Janet is evil. Had to slip that in, but it works on the show. I'd like to see a Janet takedown before she does any more damage. I would be here for Janet. I would leave her alone all season long and keep to myself and not say another Janet word if I knew that she just had like a glorious like moment at the end where someone just is like, and another Janet.
Yeah, TBD. Leaving also said that.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh,
yeah,
look who's
two
picking
can
and
play at this
choosing.
game. I noticed right away that Cruz was smiling and laughing with Zach and wasn't afraid to say hi. And with Jax, he ran away crying immediately.
He did.
Yeah, that was and then
sad.
Nettie. I
That's a
feel bad
bummer.
for Cruz. Yeah, I think we all feel bad for that
Yeah.
kid because of both of his idiot parents.
No, I think Brittany is a great
idiot mom.
No, I think she seems sweet and like she loves him so much and would do anything for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can still be an idiot though.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
you can want to love and do everything for your kid, but not quite know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know? I wish her all the luck, but shoot.
Miss Chevy, your friend.
Yeah.
Michelle not wanting Jesse using the babysitters that she found speaks volumes about her character as well. They are and should be Isabella's babysitters. Most parents want the sitters that their children already know and are comfortable with. And if she doesn't trust him, why would she trust him in finding a sitter for their child? I got my eyes on Michelle. I'm not even saying that part. Reminder, Michelle called her marriage a long-ass booty call. She was never into Jesse like he was into her. I think they were both long-ass booty calls and just torment, just punching bags. Like they just...
Yeah, they like to antagonize each other.
I forgot about the movie The War of the Roses. But that really... we could wrap it all up in just like... That's what they're doing.
Tanya Bluebell liked my comment about
I literally
Jackson's.
just skipped another one that said, I agree with Natalie. And here comes mine.
No, 'cause
Tanya
that was
Bluebell
funny.
really liked my
I
comment.
thought more people would like it, but only she did. About Jackson's girlfriend, and I was like, oh, I have a note about her.
Yeah.
She seems nice.
No, that was
And
very
she's
I
just-
see. I laughed.
She
9 out of 10.
said
Good.
every guy about a girl with big boobs. Not untrue.
Nettie says, Nat's right about Brittany possibly setting Jax up on her show for her own. I was skipping it, and then you went to yours, so I'm doing it. Setting Jax up on the show for her own salvation and for Cruz, but she doesn't get that no one can help that man unless he wants to help himself. Addicts don't care about anyone but themselves. They don't care about their kids, their wives, or their marriage, and possibly the show when using. But he needs money for coke, so maybe the show trumps all the rest, and it does. And the first rehab is rarely successful. Am I watching Intervention? Are we watching A&E or Bravo? Show's getting intense and triggering. Which leads me to my next ones. These are a couple that I just wanted to read and reply to. Leah Armstrong says, I'm not a fan of blaming Brittany for Jax's nasty, demented, violent behavior. I was an idiot in my 20s sometimes too. That doesn't mean I deserve to be abused. Love your show. And then after that, someone named Harsley Reacts has quoted, whatever Brittany gets, she deserves it. Sorry, that is absolutely horrible. However, Brittany ended up in an abusive relationship. She doesn't deserve to have someone flip a table on her first and last time listening. So I think that I interacted with Leah and then there was someone else that talked about this show being triggering, and I thought she was talking about this show. She wasn't, but since I had gotten those two other comments, I said something to her. And I just wanted to say that I know in the moment, I thought that I had made clear that what I was talking about with Brittany deserving was the stuff with the stripper. They're just being a plethora of women coming in and out. I made a comment about how she was trying to give Jax these rules, or they agreed on these rules of their split, and Jax wasn't following him. I thought it was laughable that Brittany would ever think that Jax could be given any rules or instruction, and that even if he was given them and he accepted them, that they would be respected and done. And then the other thing was that when Jax came out and said that he was coming out to admit that I am an addict and I've been abusing cocaine for however long, it was the laugh heard around the world, like, you're coming out. Apparently this has been going on his entire run of Vanderpump, and everybody knew, and they all talk about it. So I meant to say that whatever women are coming through the door, whatever drug abuse is going on, I'm sorry, you knew. Everybody was yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs. Not only that, if you didn't believe what they were saying, you could literally press play on 10 seasons of a show, or however many Jax was in before he got booted the number of times that he did and came back. All of that has been written on the wall. I thought that I had said, I'm not talking about nobody deserves to get a table flipped on them, to be abused. In looking at it, it was such a kind of, I said it in such a throwaway that it was just messy of me. It was just inconsiderate and flippant in the moment and not thoughtful. And you should never generalize abuse, addiction and family abuse, all the things like, and I just was inconsiderate. I would never in a million years say that any woman ever deserves to be assaulted physically 1,000%. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm so sorry if if that came off, it did come off that way. So I'm sorry that I wasn't just treating it with the thought and the carefulness that anybody speaking about this should. I'm so sorry for that. And my other thing is that I talked about this a little bit earlier too. I am very like on this show. It's easy for me to sound very judgy or very principled or like this doesn't fly or I don't care about this. In my real life, I am not that way at all. And that is not to say like, oh, that's just me on the show. I'm saying I things that I say on the show, I wish that I were that principled. I am just simply not. My family is riddled in addiction and abuse. Like to a level that like sometimes I don't even realize until I sit and think about it because like it's so much, I block it out. And then they've got these children that I love so fucking much. I hate it. I wish that I could tell them. Maybe I do say on here what I wish I would say and what I wish I wouldn't tolerate and whatever. But this happens in so many families that you would have no idea. And I think I react in a way that like I wish that I had the balls to say to people in real life and wish that I dealt with it in real life. So that has been an interesting thing throughout this whole process of doing this show is like what really, when I talk about like moms just having to be better, because my mom was better and she did better. And even though she put herself in situations, then she kicked ass afterwards. And I know that women are put in that position all the time. And so it's not right that they have to, but I believe that they do have to because I've just seen it so many times and someone's got to do better. And so it ends up falling on women a lot of the time. And I'm not a man hater by any stretch. I love a man. I do. Anyway, this is jumbled, but it's just to say that I'm so sorry for being so careless and that I hope that you just get to know me to a point where you can trust that what I'm saying is well intended, if that counts for anything, which it doesn't and it shouldn't. So I'm sorry and I'll do better.
And if it doesn't, the guy with the best takes loves her. So that should say something about her. She's not so bad.
Yeah.
That's what they always say about me. Like, you're not so bad now that we know Natalie likes you. Can't that go the other way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and the girl with the takes that nobody ever likes, but has great makeup tips, loves her too.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Are you guys sick of me having to address the nation about all of my shenanigans?
I mean, listen, it's probably keeping us from getting the Coors Light sponsorship.
Well, if that's the case, then I have got a Coors Light to pick with you, lady.
Do you guys want to go another couple hours or
No, I
is
need
3 hours and 42 minutes enough?
Truth for Peace for Freedom, her comments aren't showing YouTube. And I need...
Wait, all of them or just that one, the big one that she would...
I think she's tried a few and they're just... So that glitch needs to be...
Unglitched.
Unglitched.
That is
at YouTube.
Not okay.
Yeah.
Not okay. Well, like and subscribe.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, if anyone else has 80,000+ followers, follow in the steps of Angel Christina.
Anyway, love you.
Yeah, love you. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao for now.
3:43?
Yes, dude.
How do we get trapped in here for so long?
This is going to be part 12. Welcome to part 12.
Oh my God. It's fine. Everything's fine.